Roberts at the big screen. And Joey is ready to go. Do I send it to Neil or do I send it to Joe? To Joe. All right, we're sending it to Joey.
Surprise. here we are. No, guys, once again, welcome back. I mean, this is the final stretch here, 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Hope everyone's had a fantastic start to their session. There is still some time left throughout the day. And speaking of time, I think in regards to the earnings season, we're getting it in full effect. Next week, we have some big names reporting. We have the whole list of the Mag 7. But let's start first things first, all right? We got to walk before we can run. And Tesla is reporting after the bell. Now, as for a name, I think what is really important is the first half an hour or the first hour of the session, and it can be extremely telling of where the stock may potentially trade for the remainder of the day.
So much happening in the first 30 minutes of the session. You've got positioning, you've got people trying to run stops, you got reacting to news, overall market sentiment. You need to narrow down what that action means so you can take advantage in any of your trades. And really, sometimes we call it the shakeout, right? Like you can have something with a positive catalyst, like Palantir did here today, and it's gapping up and you get continuation, or you could see something like Intel, which is gapped up and it's an abject failure. And you ask yourself, like, what is the difference between these two things? Well, oftentimes it's not going to be as simple as looking at it before and being able to tell what's going on and what's going to happen. It's inside of that 30 minutes, that opening range as people like to call it, that you try to you're able to figure out one from the other. Now, whether it's jumping in a short like on Intel or diagnosing that you've got a bit of a long, it takes a little bit of homework. Now, first off, what you want to do is have an idea, because if we're strong, we're above the range here. The following day, like pretty easy to see, like you've got this 147.5 top from the prior day, and that's turning into support. So it's generally strong, and at a positive news story, they'd gotten a contract. And you've got this top end that you can very obviously see as well here at 149.5. Now, the usual bamboozlement happens at the open. It opens up. There's wicks to the top, it comes right back down in, it goes to the top, it pulls back. Now this is where it gets a little bit instructive. It's that second fail to top. There's the shakeout happening. You're gonna have people reacting to the news, some profit takers in there, some people building long positions. All of that needs to shake itself out so that you can determine which direction is going to win. Now, it's easy enough to say if it finally breaks out, you take a breakout and you can look for that entry. But I think the more instructive thing is you're rinsing back and forth within the range. The second time it ticks and wicks that high, you get a higher low. Do you have to be in there? You probably don't, because you can look for that third time it wicks the high again and puts in another higher low. And this gives you something reasonable, which is an entry at that higher low with even a tight stop or a wide stop. You have yourself some options, and that's always going to be key. You want to have optionality. Now, on the other side of the coin, you don't want to fall for the opening traps that are set. Sometimes you got to zoom a bit further back. Now, I was watching Intel when it did this move to 2 sessions prior, where once you were above about 68, the sellers didn't just trap anyone trying to punch the breakout long, they utterly destroyed them all day long. Then you see the following day, underneath the same price, tons of resistance. So when this one's gapped up, I'm setting myself up to say, well, if those sellers are there that are letting it drive higher and then ready to slam it down, you have to wait to pounce on that trade. If you know that what happened before was allowing early morning traders to retail in and drive, and then they got smoked, you've got to lie in wait, kind of like you're hunting for your prey, because that's what they're doing. They're allowing that opening drive and all the breakout traders to get exuberant and start chasing the move before they pull the rug. And the funny thing about it, the entire opening range needs to hash itself out before it can take that bounce. It took that first half an hour for it to even settle down. That's how much they rug pulled. So whether you're finding something that's going to have follow through, allowing the first 30 minutes to give you a trend for something that could maintain strength, you do want to avoid those massive, massive traps. Better yet, if you can lay in wait while the trap's being set, and you can be the one to spring it and take advantage of that opening flush out.
Absolutely, and it's a massive teller, whether it be a fundamental catalyst or a technical catalyst. The way the stock reacts in the first half an hour can be a big teller of where you're going to head throughout the remainder of your intraday session. We were referring to Tesla and earnings. You had Palantir with a fundamental catalyst as well too. But if you have a technical breakout like in Bitcoin today, and that first half an hour remains strong, then sure enough, at some point, you can get in on a form of a pullback, because in that first half an hour can be a major confirmation, and whether that breakout is going to be genuine or not, but it's a massive teller within the technicals and the fundamentals of how the street, retail, and even the larger participants can direct the stock. It's either going to be a genuine move, or eventually it can entrap a bunch of retail traders and even the larger participants and have a false breakdown.
And bonus time, because when you're looking at that first 30 minutes, also pay attention to what kind of an attitude the stock had in the opening range, maybe the prior day, or like we showed with Intel 2 days before. Because here's a bit of a hint. Prior day, you did see an initial flush out, but the fake out this time wasn't a fake up and then flush out on Intel. It was a fake to the downside and then a huge recovery on Palantir. That gives you the hint of what's going on. Regardless of the opening push one direction or the other, there were buyers in that stock. And that's where you can take that information. It doesn't mean you're automatically going long the next day, but you have a general bias. The same way there was a bias over there in Intel because of what we saw here, bias to the short side even though it's up. You can find yourself with the absolute reverse over there in Palantir. So good luck on all of your trading, everybody. That first 30 minutes, absolutely key.
It's absolutely key, and we've seen that in regards to Tesla. That first 30 minutes, even though we didn't have the continuation that we were looking for, you have pullbacks into the volume-weighted average price, and you hit the high of the day. Now, is there other potential headwinds that are making Tesla not as strong as the overall market? Absolutely. But within that first half an hour, a massive teller, 15 minutes to a half an hour, can really tell you the direction and the strength of a potential stock. Here it is on IBIT. We were talking about this name. Okay, we have a technical breakout. Oh, no. Sure enough, the continuation, and right at 10 o'clock is when you almost get that pullback where it says, hey, we're ready to engage, you've pulled back, and then off to the races you go for another hour and a half, 2 hours essentially. So that first half an hour can tell you worlds about the direction of an intraday session, especially in some names that have tailwinds behind them, technical or fundamental breakouts.
Real question is, did I just miss the AMD entry?
I was thinking about getting it, like, what do we do with Tesla here? I don't know. I don't want to take any more attempts on it. We had the IBIT trade.
Well, the question is, why don't you want to take any more entries on it? Do you think is it too much? Is it going to be too much noise going into earnings? Sometimes the afternoon can just be
just channel down, really.
Just like nonsensical, and it can be hard to read, and then all of a sudden,
it's just
a lot of times you'll get one drive in the last hour. Maybe you can catch one momentum trade, but we'll see. I think AMD is insanity right now.
That descending right there.
So you could take a break, maybe like it's a trend break.
You would want it on the backside, yeah, on the trend break for sure.
Yeah, maybe that's what you look for. Yeah. Right now, Tom Train's like short AMD. AMD has been chilling at this 300 to 301 for a while here. It did break a big time. I mean, it did break trend, hold the trend line underneath. Usually I'd take a shot at it here. Oh, the position board is not working. I guess if I just simply take once I get another fill, it'll show the battle. BATL, battalion short. It's weird. It's the 420 is the high again on battalion. So I'm short off that lower high. But AMD here, it did confirm that the hold of 301, confirmed under the trend line. I should be taking a shot at this. Let us know what else you guys are watching. I feel like my screen got bumped or something. It gets off center. It's really bugging me. It's just kind of angled in a way that I feel like it wasn't before. It doesn't really make a difference, but I'll fix it some other time. Random Oddity says, what's my take on the 420 top on Broadcom? I'm gonna nibble in on AMD and see if I can get, well, I'm sitting at 20s. I might not get filled up there. Let's move. All right, so I just moved to, I was sitting at 320, I don't know, like 22. Of course, now it would have filled me at 22. But I just came in at 15, 14. I just got the 14. Like, the trade is the trade. Like, I think in this particular situation, I'm giving it, like, this was the trend break here. So I'm actually getting maybe a slightly better price than if I took it on the trend break. But the play is still to the prior bar high, which is effectively the high of the day. Like, I'm actually giving it to the high of the day here based on that wick. It's like 392 cents. I might as well just give it, like, literally put the stop at 301 there. And maybe I need to see a lower high to add to this if it looks any better. Okay, so the question was, what did I think about Broadcom? And I believe it was 420-ish top. Wow. Yeah, what are you going to do? Who knew? That's similar to what you're seeing in AMD. You're also talking about AMD's making fresh highs, but Broadcom's at its effectively at its all-time high. So it makes it a little bit different. But what hasn't happened in Broadcom is I haven't seen it pull back underneath. Like, if I go back to AMD for a second, like, they're very similar. But AMD has made the top and kind of given enough of a curl that looks like a reasonable short to me. Whereas Broadcom hasn't really given that signal just yet. Again, it's probably not going to make a difference. Like, the market's at the high. Does it roll over or does it not? It's a risk to reward setup at this particular point. Like, it's just a complete. The other thing too is, like, look at AMD. Like, this is nonsensical. Like, your risk to reward just gets insane up here for any kind of a trend break. So I'll be with this one. We'll see what it does. I am in battle. Did that show up? Yeah. Once I took a fill somewhere else, the battle trade showed up, which was just the 420. Oddly enough, it did something similar yesterday in the afternoon, and so I'm short off of that lower high. I got one push into VWAP. We'll look to see if we can't get another. And let us know what else you guys are watching. Joe's gonna be. Hopefully, Joe gets to grab his lunch and grab some food. You know what? The other thing we didn't even talk about. Well, I don't know if anybody talked about it. I was chatting with some people via the chat, chatting with people in the chat. That's what you do about ARM. 11% today. Oh, this is the wrong bull. Dang it. Okay, so there's like two bull graphics. That one's like, that's actually pretty embarrassing, that bull. This is a better bull. Like, look at the difference between the graphics. Like, you've got one, and look at the bear graphic, like the high quality. It's all, well, there's one issue with that one, which I've gone over many times. And then you've got this nonsense. You like that one? Hold on a second.
I like them all.
Joe, you like that over like that bull and bear?
They all look good.
Not even. It's not even close. And I do remember when ARM was under $100 because the simple rule of thumb for me is the easiest rule of thumb of all time. Like, look at this stock. You have the typical IPO breakout trade through $80. It then dipped, and then that became like your litmus. You're buying back into that level, and every time it crossed $100, got to or crossed $100, you get a buy zone, and it would go to 180. And then you get a buy zone, and then it goes to 180. Then you get a buy zone, then it goes to 180. Then you get a buy zone, and then it goes to 1. And like, how many times do you? And for the record, I bought every single one of those times. And every single time I would buy more, and then I would take 20% out near the top and hold. And then I would buy back to 100%, and then I would get out 20% somewhere at the high. Sometimes I was getting 170s because I'm not like perfect or like whatever. No one ever gets the right top. And so I did it again. I did take 20% out again in front of the top. So I don't have, like, I have 80% of my long-term position in ARM. But now all of a sudden it's got a different vibe. It's weird.
It's like 85% hell of it by.
Well, now, like, look at the effective range here that it's breaking from. It's like $100 range that it's been sitting in. So just like a technical breakout here, and like, why couldn't I see $290 on this thing or $280 on this? Like, I think that's perfectly reasonable.
We have a super chat here
How do your meatballs smell better than, anyways?
Yeah, you didn't really like them. It's always better when it's someone else's.
No, it's like mine was like cold. I just didn't.
It doesn't matter what the lunch is. You remember back in like in school, it's just like, yeah, everybody's else lunch look better than yours. That's just how it goes sometimes. All right,
I would agree.
$5 super chat by Joe4902. I lived in Austin, Texas. I want to go to Austin. I'm planning a trip to Austin. I love Texas.
That's so crazy.
I love Dallas.
My wife is in Austin.
Did I hear what? No, hit it again at Assassino. Cash, bang, much better. All right. I live in Austin, Texas, and I've seen one robo-taxi, 50 Waymos, and when I do see a robo-taxi, there is a driver in it, but rarely a passenger. What does that say? I think it's telling. Like, I mean, they're in two totally different, I think,
well, Waymo's way ahead.
placements within, exactly,
Yeah,
and that's what I'm getting at. Yeah,
they're ahead.
They're ahead. They're ahead right now. But what we won't disregard is the production capabilities, and that's what we're counting on with Tesla. LiDAR and just using the camera-based system are two totally different technologies as well too. So I don't know. The Ministry of Transportation, Highway Traffic, whatever they call it in the States, they favor the LiDAR technology. But what is going exactly 200 each row exactly $200,000 versus for essentially a Waymo vehicle. It's a Jaguar with the LiDAR implemented versus $30K a vehicle for the robo-taxi, right? Like, which one is more scalable? There's just a difference in the technology. They're in different spaces right now in regards to from a regulatory standpoint. So it's tougher. Like, I think the outlook on Tesla, we try to remain forward-looking and optimistic, but we know with Tesla, or with Elon Musk, he's an optimist, right? Like, there's another word that I'm looking for, but essentially, he believes in something that may take a little bit longer, and he's a visionary.
He's a visionary.
Yeah, exactly. That was the word. He's a visionary.
That's
and
exactly
what it is. He's a visionary, and rightfully so, because it's got him to where he is right now. But he's a little bit behind things right now.
Well,
Waymo's just in way more cities right now.
And while this plays out, like, what inning are we in of this game? Like, the first inning? I don't know. Like,
we're in the warm-up, brother.
Well, I don't know if you're in the warm-up. I'd say you're in the first inning here.
Okay, so on the grand scheme of things, like,
so it's kind of like a distinction without a difference, though. It doesn't really matter. We're early on.
Yeah, like, exactly. Like, from a timeline. And the way that I say things is like, there's no limit to certain things, because 100 years ago, no one would ever thought that we'd have these, right? Like, technology is going to continuously advance beyond any means that we actually understand. And especially if you're going to become interplanetary, you're going to have to build technology that's essentially never been established before. So, I mean, early stages in the grand scheme of everything, we're such in the early stages.
I 100% agree. Just one look. We just crossed the $50 mark on AMD, so broke down the 300. This is Sparta. Got down to about, I think, like, it was like 299.33. Like, where did I get filled? I guess like 40s or something like that. It's just somewhere in the 40s there. So still short off the 300. I'm looking, you know what, I might go a little bit into this gap here, closer to like 98.5. I think makes a little bit more sense for the next bid if we're able to get it. Because like, you have the prior high at 298 clean, and then there's a wick in at 298. So I want to be sitting in between. Just in case. I'm going to tighten up now. Like, it's not a break-even stop, but I'm no longer giving it to the high of the day. I feel like if AMD is going to take this move down and bounce and kind of get past like that $50, like the 300 half, then it'll probably get to the high. And just for that battle trade, which I'm still in, or battalion oil or whatnot, like, it just went off of the 415 on the lower high, and when it wicked it again, just reloaded what I had taken out. It just doesn't seem to want to get to VWAP. So I might dump almost all of this at VWAP just like yesterday, especially when I see USO starting to come back up. As a matter of fact, I might just try to, I just hit 07s to get more out. I just don't want to be sitting in this when it's making higher lows. And I don't love the fact, when I put this one on, like, look what USO did when I put this on. And then USO got the move into VWAP. And now we're coming back higher. Like, that down, like, we kind of broken this downtrend. So I just don't see a need to be in that anymore. Like my reason for being in that trend break is kind of gone, and it's headed back to the upside. So I'm trimming that. I'll try to hold AMD for a little bit more when it gets past that if and when it gets past that 299, and then start looking for some other opportunities out there as well. So let us know what you guys are watching. I see Agent's been going ham to the upside on AMD. It's been a rocket ship. Like a lot of these chip names have been fantastic today. We've highlighted, as long as you're not Intel, we've highlighted AMD and ARM and who else? Who am I missing? Broadcom and Micron is up 8% today.
Damn.
What's SMBK saying? Oh, it's not at 1,000. Oh, it's not at 1,000. Hold on a second. So SNDK, you're only up 7.5%, and you're at $970. So that's terrible. That's terrible. I mean, come on, day like today, it didn't break the double top. It's not at a fresh all-time high. What are you doing? 7.5%? That's all you've got, SNDK? I'm obviously joking. These things are all rockets right now. So I know AMD is super strong, but it's just a reversion trade, and I'm not even remotely thinking VWAP here. Like if it breaks the 98, I'm looking more along like the 97 or where it connected the trend line in the afternoon. Like that would be VWAP. I'm thinking more like the 97, just given how strong
Neil,
it is.
is this rug? Is this rug or is this rug?
I don't want to look at car.
Brother.
I don't want to look at the car chart because it's making me mad at myself.
Over $300. You know what I mean?
I knew it was going to happen.
Like, is this rug or is this rug?
It is what it is, man.
It's crazy. Like, you shorting car, Randy? Maybe. Randy shorting car. All right, good stuff, good stuff. It's crazy. $300 today.
Randy.
To the downside. 842, even
well,
more.
$300 is it might be at $300 tomorrow.
It could be at $300 by the time you open your eyes and the market opens again.
Yeah.
Say, like, is this thing, I'm sure you can trade it in Blue Ocean. Yeah, this thing is absolutely disastrous.
I don't know how liquid.
Imagine you're like, oh, hey, yeah, we're gonna get that squeeze.
But do you know what? Do you know why I'm angry? I'm not angry over a car. I'm angry because I made a comment about why it would just be safer to just short Hertz, and then Hertz gave like just a gold medal short trade today.
Damn.
Right? Like there's a prior high, there's the wick top. Like you just look at this look at the topping tail candle off of the open, and then you just short this bar in here at like $7.40, and then let it go.
Jaw P, this guy's.
That's why I'm like slapping. I'd slap the fail on myself, not because the lower hanging fruit was an easy trade. You're talking a very clean downward trend where there's maybe even places to have added along the way.
I don't know. That's crazy. Like Jaw P, you took 5 puts. Brother.
Jam.
Yeah, how much did you like spend on those? That's easy. That's almost 100K. That's insane. How much? Like that's a lot, dude. Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, nice trend break there on AMD. Market's starting to sell off a little bit here. We couldn't continue to move. Like we were forming multiple consolidation zones throughout the intraday session, and then that support level just broke. Now, as for the NASDAQ, how are we going to react around this supply zone? Are we going to breach it? And Tesla heading through some support levels. What's holding up well is IBIT, and you can see those consistent higher lows. All right, NVDA starting to slide as well. So once that trend breaks, starting to form a head and shoulders pattern. Now, if it breaks and breaches the volume weighted average price, maybe it starts to participate with the overall market and head a little bit lower. But yeah, it's starting to slide. We're getting that slide. And what we're seeing from Tesla leading into the report, I'm not liking it. And I don't think it's going to be a good one. Can I be wrong? Yes. For the sake of people who are in long positions, I hope that I'm wrong. But you're going to have an increase in CapEx for the Terafab. We know that the delivery numbers aren't going to be that good. And then you're going to have this insane optimistic timeline in which we're going to have the full Cybercab and when Optimus is going to be produced. So on mass, essentially. So I don't know. I just don't think it's going to be good, to be honest. What's up, Randy?
What does Randy think? You gotta get the mic.
Neil does grab the mic, man.
Randy says me neither, but like, what's your thoughts? I mean, Tesla reports in less than 2 hours here.
I'm with Joe. Cybertrucks, and SpaceX is the only one buying them. Like,
Tell him.
Did you hear that hello? I mean, it's I don't know. And the Optimus, okay, we all loved it when it came out. How many are they actually going to sell? Sharif wants one. He wants two. He's going to buy me one. And then Apple's having a day. That's all I got to say.
Yeah,
Apple's,
man.
Apple's on fire.
Apple's amazing.
I was on fire today. So was Microsoft. So don't worry about Apple. Yeah, we're worried about it, my boy. We're worried about it. Elon is going to tie.
Maybe Apple wants to be next.
Yeah, man. SpaceX as well too. Like Grok, obviously, everything on. There's things that remain like forward-looking, but we have to look at the numbers for right now. We can't just continuously, even though we do, is just talk about what the future is. What the future is. Eventually, you have to show something for it, right?
Yeah,
he is slowly. I'm not saying that he's not, but it's not at the pace as what the market could potentially price in.
I think if you try to think back to when Tesla broke out in earnest for real, like so long ago.
Yeah.
Like even back then, all of the same things were getting said. It was like the same, I feel like it was like the same level of doubt. We're being real. And then it ended up paying off. So like I just feel like this is one of those ones like you either believe or not. You either believe they're gonna catch up to Waymo and surpass them, and then you believe that they're right about this LiDAR thing, and you believe that Elon's right about Optimus. And because if he is, then if you're looking at the Mag 7,
yeah. I mean, like,
what do you want? Like, what has? If you look at what the future is going to be, and I look at what Apple is, and maybe look at what Amazon is, and what is transformative in something that is different from everything that's in our lives right now? And
yeah.
it's what Tesla offers in terms of growth. That's what everybody's chasing.
Exactly.
So I feel like it just doesn't matter that they're behind ultimately. You believe in it or it's not. And at some point, if Elon fails, then that's going to be that thing in your portfolio that you're like, I don't think remember the good old days.
I don't think he's going to fail. I just don't.
Well, I don't either. That's why I own the stock.
Yeah, exactly.
But I acknowledge there's a downside risk in Tesla that flat out does not exist in Apple, that does not exist in Google, that does not exist in Amazon. But if one of these things is going to be a $15 trillion company. When my daughter has my account, no, I made that.
Listen, I think it's all going to happen.
By the way, just very quickly, this is crazy. Like I was just chilling out here in AMD, and now it wants to take. And I told you I moved stop a little bit. Like I'm not giving it to the HOD, which I was before, but I'm now sort of giving it to this lower high range. So it came down, gave us that fill in front of the 99. Fighting a sneeze here. I also don't want to reload this. It does not feel like this is the right stock to be reloading. So I'm not going to reload this one. Either it comes back down. I might even take another leg at that 299 for sure. But anyways, this stock is an absolute. These things are all rocket ships today. I know it's weird to be. Everyone's focused on AMD, but when you look at like the Broadcoms and ARMs, like ARM might have been a good short too, but I don't know about the volume on that one. And then we talked about Broadcom as well. That's still just chilling at the highs. It's not showing any signs of slowing down. Zen Zombie asked, any news on CAR? No. It's down 25% because it's a short squeeze that's unwinding. And today would be day one. Oh. Day damn one, Vivian. That's one of the all-time greatest lines in TV history. I think it was the pilot episode of The Fresh Prince. And he's just like, day one. And you knew the first day would be nasty. What wouldn't surprise me is if you get some kind of, whether it's today or maybe overnight or early in the morning tomorrow, you get some kind of a relief rally just to relieve a little bit of pressure. Like you press back like this 600 to 650 area. You press that for a little bit and then you get a secondary rollover. Maybe even you consolidate a little bit higher, and then you get that big secondary rollover trade.
You want to put
25.
You want to put a poll up? I think that's a good one. Pump or dump on the earnings report.
For Tesla.
Yeah, for Tesla. That is fake cars.
We didn't do a poll this morning.
Did we do one on?
I don't think.
No, we didn't. Yeah, so we'll throw that up there. That's a good poll. We like that one. Aside from trades. Aside from trades, right? Like we took Tesla on a couple occasions. They worked for us. One didn't. And then this was the IBIT. This was the maker of the day. Essentially, it was this IBIT trade off of this hammer candle, right off of the lows, especially on a strong trend to the top side. Eventually, you start coming aggressively, and we literally waited all day for this. until 1 o'clock. We were talking about this from bright and early in the morning, waiting for that pullback, but the underlying decided to continue to climb. So with that being said, you had to be patient. It was either going to come or it wasn't, and sure enough, we just hammer it, you put on the position that you're supposed to, and then I took the majority of it off. I wasn't going to allow this headline sensitivity, and considering that we have broken the primary and continue to move downwards south of VWAP, take the majority of it off at target. We left this for a runner up into 82, and then sure enough, we get stopped out 10%. Okay, so that was our best trade here on the day, was this Tesla one. Now we have that, you have it up there. Earnings report, pump or dump. Put it in the chat, ones or twos. I'm gonna go two. We could be wrong. There's not much open interest if we want to talk about it from an options perspective on Tesla, right? I mean, leading into the report expiring Friday, 2 days DTE, the most amount of sizes we're going to have at that $400 strike price.
Oh, this is distinct, dude. It's 85%
And
dump.
with that being said, I wouldn't be surprised if it rallied.
Oh, there's no ambiguity here. When was the last time we did any poll that was instantly that much in the favor when it was binary? Like, usually our binary polls are like 50-50, maybe 60-40. 60-40 when it's looking pretty good, but this is over 80% that are thinking dump on Tesla. Wow, well, whatever. Like, it's the stock price. Like, I just gave you a whole thing about why I believe in Elon, and even I put a 2 down. So
I'm not saying that I don't believe in Elon.
I believe in Elon. I just.
Yeah.
I think you could get I think you could have done. And even if it initially pops, I wouldn't be surprised if you get the whole pop and fade. Let's go to the desk. Adara, what do you got?
Keep an eye here on BABA. Alibaba reportedly partnering up here with Perplexity. Perplexity CEO Aravind Srinivas on X, saying that they've worked with Quen to build a model over top, and this model apparently performs the best out of Perplexity's models and actually better than GPT and Sonnet. Back to you.
Thanks, Adara. So I just punched, you can see, I just punched out of AMD. It's like, why am I letting this, like, see that candle? The candle that I would have considered reloading on reverses, and then it just starts breaking up. I'm like, no, there is no need to turn this into a mess. I'm just going to punch out. I actually punched out before it got to the stop, which is sometimes a good thing, but whatever. Like, if it's only going to drop $1 when it's up like 15, and you get that, feel like you get a bit of a top, you take what you can get, and you can't get upset. I haven't looked at Rocket Lab today. I just saw someone type Rocket Lab, and it made me pull it up. Oh, it's all down when the market's up. Boo, that's not what I expect to see. Boo. You know what? That's because it's up so much. Yeah, whatever. Just a little bit of a turnaround day for Rocket Lab. I believe we're going to the desk. See ya.
Let's look at a couple of headlines, specifically two that I really want to get into. PM Philip Morris's earnings report from today has been a crazy beat. So PM has reported its Q1 earnings. Now, EPS at $1.96, exceeding analyst expectations of $1.82 by almost 8%. Gross profit has increased by 10.1% and revenue standing at $10.15 billion, surpassing estimates again. So diving into the two sectors, smoke-free up by 12.4%, combustibles up by 6.7%. A comparison though, EPS $1.69 in the same quarter of last year. Now, the company is showing strength away from traditional cigarettes. PM will be announcing its next earnings on 21st of July this year. The reported diluted EPS has also declined by 9.3% to $1.56 per share. The reason for this, the non-cash fair value adjustment due to the minority shareholding specifically in India. Kenneth Shea, the senior consumer product analyst at Bloomberg, has said that the cigarette volumes were down. Long-term sector decline has also continued. But the war in Iran has had a small impact on the duty-free shops and the airports due to the reduced travel, with a bit of a downturn as said by PM as well. They also have some of the distribution and transportation costs to look out for, which didn't change the margin, but just something to keep an eye out for. Currently, I would say PM doing well, up in the green by 7%. Another stock I do want to take a look at, right over here, is IRSG. I want to take a look at IRSG because another earnings, Intuitive Surgical targeting broader platform adoption, and has also seen an innovation-led revenue growth. So This particular stock, ISRG, has reported a revenue with the sales up 23% year over year to $2.77 billion, beating the estimates of $2.62 billion. Adjusted EPS coming in at $2.50 per share versus analyst expectations of $2.11 per share. Adjusted EBITDA at $1.24 billion versus analyst expectations of $1.6 billion, which is a 17.1% beat. Market cap currently at $160.3 billion, and operating margin is 30% up from 25.7% in the same quarter last year. Another thing to note is that CEO David Rosa has pointed to a 17% increase in total procedures, including the adoption of the Da Vinci and Ion, as customers are continuing to advance into minimally invasive care. CFO Jamie Samath has also noted that the company is raising its full year procedure growth outlook slightly, while also remaining cautious of potential headwinds from tariffs, higher input costs, and ongoing market challenges in China and Japan. Currently, Intuitive Surgical in the green, up by 8%, sending it right back to you.
Thank you very much, Sia. This is going to be not because of what happened today. Like, why would you, talking about Intuitive Surgical, and I'm going to hit the Wee Batman? Come on, son. What are you doing, Neil? You want to know why? And you can't make this up. It's true. Intuitive, which has been in a ridiculously precipitous downward trend, and is threatening to break ye old 50-period moving average at what breakout price? Stop me if you've heard it before, 420. It just shows up. What's the Jim Carrey movie where it's like the number just keeps on showing up? It's like 23 or some nonsense. I think it sucked. Well, maybe it didn't suck. It was disappointing. It wasn't as good as it could have been. But like, it's 420 is that in the market.
Was it 22? The number 23.
Was it 22 or 23?
It was one of those. Yeah,
22 is one of my favorite numbers. I feel like it was, wasn't it 23?
Okay, come on, chat. Obviously, the chat's going to do this.
And it was, no, it's not.
Yeah, we knew that was coming, man.
It's not 6-7.
23.
It's 23. 6-7. Oh, my goodness. Isn't that over with?
Watch that old Christian Bale movie, The Machinist.
No, I've never seen that.
Yeah, I heard, was that Fabian? Was that you who got going over there? Yeah, it wasn't bad. It's the one where he goes like, extremely anorexic. He's like 121 pounds.
I've seen the still images.
Yeah.
That's crazy when actors do stuff like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, what were we going to talk about? Like, I mean, Broadcom, the Kawhi Leonard essentially of the market, putting in a new all-time high up to 420. AVGO continuing to climb, 420.30 now, put in that new all-time high, that sleeper pick. I don't know who we had as the number one, but there it goes, off to the races, 292. Are you kidding me? Like, seriously, in the span of a month, this thing is up almost 50%. Like, at what point are we going to talk about too far, too fast? Listen, we want to talk about too far, too fast, right? And then look what happens. I mean, boom, off to the races you go. So it doesn't really matter. I understand that we're going through some growth. MSFT, strong move and has yet to find its footing. I think at some point, if you're patient enough, you can sell some puts or do something along those lines to get the price exactly what you want. But I wouldn't be buying it all the way up here. This is just like boom, 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 a straight line up. So what you have here is just a couple $100 almost. This took months. This took 1 month. You know what I mean? Less than, for it to climb 45% off of that low. It bounced. It didn't even break down. And then off to the races it went. Broadcom performing extremely well. And then you have Google that's not too far off. Not the strongest of sessions. But watch out for a strong gap up by the end of the week. And then maybe a continuation to where you hit that level. 212 is going to be that mark here on any NVDA, right? A couple more things, a pullback here, and then off to the races. I know we have AMD. Neil's been on about this one. $300 straight, like... Dude,
these things are insane.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, do what you want, but at the end of the day, you're up 60% from March 9th, so a little bit over a month. Like, I mean, that's being generous. So it's 16 bars, 23 days, right? 16 trading sessions, 23 days.
Pull up ARM. I just saw someone put this in the chat. I didn't contextualize this, but this is really true. ARM went from 52-week low in February.
Yeah.
to more than doubling
But
in an all-time high.
85% of this is held by institution, 93%. So you're almost going to get a double in this name. But it's like SoftBank. Masayoshi essentially holds 85% of this.
Win, win, win.
Yeah, man.
That's all they're doing is win. But you know what? It really does just go to show. Like if you buy dips in quality stocks, you'll be rewarded for it. And the other side of that coin too is if you see accumulation, respect it. Like that's the thing that I didn't do, right? Like and I'll say it. I've said it many times, and it's a little self-disparaging, but I think deprecating. Right? Like when we were at some support levels, I preferred NVIDIA to AMD. That's been a colossal mistake. Colossal. Like you're talking about one thing going 16 or 17% off the lows, somewhere in that range, to AMD going 50%, like 3 times. But look at the accumulation, and it held the 200, which maybe was a bit of a sign. Unbelievably parabolic right now in AMD. The thing is just nuts. Tesla, which we know in an hour and a half, maybe slightly more than that, will be reporting.
I wanted to call out actually.
My thing for Tesla, I'm just waiting for it to do something different to the general like trend down malaise that it's in this afternoon. I feel like when you have a name going into earnings, if something changes, just kind of maybe jump in with that. So I was hoping, because like you, I was probably just hoping for it to break the downtrend and then
just get in at a good
just
place.
Get like some kind of a scalp long going into the close. But we've already talked about how we think there'll be some disappointment in some of the numbers. The call tends to be pretty telling for Tesla. So the initial price action, I think, can be a bit of a fake out here. It's been a weird couple of days for Tesla. Right? Like for us to be up 1.5%, it's barely participating. You had the 400 rejection. That's why I wasn't terribly bullish on it today, because it had that weird Intel thing going on where you had the massive rejection. I was actually looking for something like this, like that crazy up candle to reject. I was looking for that on Tesla too. It just didn't do that part of it, where it attempted to break back in and trap people at $400. It just didn't even try. It was there's been nobody stepping up on Tesla all day today.
And that's why I don't like it leading into the report. I wanted to give a shout out to NYC Urbanista. A while ago, she made a comment, and only certain people know essentially what that is. And she definitely knows, because she's like, you know what, I noticed this through something, and sure enough, I could tell from you. So I'm not going to get into any of the details, but I just want to say thank you once again. Fade after pop. Yeah, I mean, but once again, NYC Urbanista, thank you very much, and I'm glad that you're learning through options. But yeah, Neil, we're not getting that trend break, and I mean, we're running into that 3 o'clock hour. It's power hour. Is it going to happen now? I don't think so. Anything could happen. Like, you have that one headline. No, thank you very much. We have that one headline, next thing you know, Tesla's off to the races, but I don't think that's going to be the narrative. Unfortunately, people know things leading into the earnings report that we don't necessarily, but there's a reason why it's not climbing higher.
500 could break.
Is it already down to 500?
Car, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there it goes, rug pull.
It's so nasty.
What is it down? 30%. And that's what we're talking about.
30% down. And what's crazy is you might, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point tomorrow you're looking at like 20 to 25% back up and trapping some people again. This is now, it's done. It's done, it's gone, it's over, all that good stuff. AMD just took a new high. You know what? I'm looking over at USO. I feel like we're not getting any, like USO's not moving. It's well off VWAP. Not really dropping. Like if USO would drop, I think I'd be like just fine for this to follow through, but it's not happening. Someone just was asking about the correlation between Toro and CAR. Like it is reverse. I don't know how clean it is, like, right? Because Avis's chart is about as distinctly down as you're gonna get, whereas Toro has been much more like stair step to the upside. But like yeah, I get it. And maybe you're getting a little bit of this. I always just find that when you have, like, I don't know how much I'm trusting this. Because everyone always wants the next squeeze to be as good as the one that just happened. And it pretty much never is if it's right adjacent. Like the whole like, oh, well now the money's gonna flow here and this is gonna be the squeeze. I just find that that's almost never the case, is that you temper your expectations on the one that just followed. We just saw an absolutely historical squeeze in Avis. Historic. Like this one is going to, I mean, well, you know what the crazy thing is, it's not like it hasn't even done it before. Like that's actually the crazier part of this in car. How far do I have to go back? I'm not sure, so I'm just gonna use this. Like like this squoze from 35, not as fast, to 550 before and did a crazy squeeze once prior. So this is not, it's maybe not as structured or calm to the upside, but it's still ridiculous what this was able to do, and it's done it in the past. I just see no way that any secondary squeeze is gonna be nearly as good. So I'd be highly critical of Toro if I had to. And Ichiro saying, is Avis a meme stock like GameStop? Yeah, well, it was. It might not be any, this might be done. When this unwinds,
it's done.
Is it shocked? Where would it have to be for you to say it's done? Does it have to be back at 200? Does that mean it's done? We've seen relief rallies before. I just can't see the wind coming out of this much. That's the right question. Roof Ninja in the chat just said, like, who would buy car here? It's one thing to just sort of follow the trend to the upside, maybe buy it one day and put a stop under the prior day low or some nonsense and just keep holding while that works. But now who wants to buy?
No, I wouldn't buy it. I think it's over. I mean, it's all fun and games, right?
There might be buyers at like $200. Like there might be, I'm sure there'd be buyers down here, like 160, 200. Like that's where it was when most of the volume started. Yeah, there'll be some buyers down there, is my guess.
I mean, to each their own, man. There's no way, like, at this point, you drop 30% in a day. Yeah, I'm not getting involved in this thing whatsoever.
Look, oh my goodness, this is why you get a, look at AMD.
Yeah, AMD's gone, man. A new all-time high.
Sweet Christmas.
We have a wedge on Bitcoin as well, too, starting to be formed. Like, look at, we've just been on this crazy run. Like, we go on the weekly. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of just straight to the upside. And now you're engulfing essentially all of that. A high of around $833. Now you're down to 503. So that's good. So that's good stuff. Like, I mean, if you were thinking going long, yeah, this thing's going to go to $1,000 at whatever, at 750. Well, now you're $250 out of the money. I just don't see this thing rebounding unless it's extremely, extremely strong, or it squeezes more people out somehow, right? Like these shorts that are engaging right now, collecting $300 a share, squeeze it past that 850 and into that $1,000 mark. Because if you do break 850, I believe that's going to be the next step. But we could be totally wrong on that front. I just don't know if that's necessarily going to be the case. Now, as for IBIT, starting to form a wedge. All right, I like this. Is it going to break this late in the day? But it's still, what I like is that leading into the end of the session is showing some signs of strength. And we know with Bitcoin, typically strong in the post market. So less resistance, and you can see it free flow a little bit more. And I wouldn't be surprised if we head into that 45.10 and then breach that essentially $80,000 mark here on IBIT. Netflix wasn't strong today at all. Still hovering below the volume weighted average price. The rally was being led by these names, Apple and Microsoft, not too far. And then we also have Broadcom, the sleeper, that put in a new all-time high, just straight up and to the right. $405, you get 15 points on the day. That's 3.7% roughly from the trough to the peak there. And I mean, putting in a new all-time, same thing with AMD, and it's not stopping. Like AMD is not stopping. That trend line still fully intact. I think at some point we talk about too fast, too high, too fast. At some point, you will see some form of a pullback. You can be the best in the breed, best of breed. It doesn't matter. You can be the king of whatever you would like to be. We've seen individuals, multiple. I think it was Brandt or something, or somebody said, "Yeah, man, you can be the best in class, but at some point you will pull back, and AMD will, and then maybe we'll see a rotation into NVDA." We still haven't breached this high. We're sitting on top of a consolidation from the daily. I think there's a lot more room for this name to run. I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if we see a rotation out of AMD, and especially after the earnings report through the hyperscalers, how much of a factor and how much this can move this stock higher, because we've seen it before. It doesn't even need to report itself. It's how much the other people are going to spend, and then that's when you can see that sympathy style play into NVDA.
Yeah, I think you might be right. You have to sort of admit what's happening. Regardless, like sometimes sentiment is just sentiment, and it doesn't really matter what you think fundamentally. here. We're gonna go to SIA in a quick little second, but CAR did just break that 500. I was checking to see if Broadcom was still going, but it looks like, I don't know, maybe it passed the torch over to AMD, because suddenly this is no longer making fresh all-time highs. By the way, Broadcom ended up winning that poll of ours.
It did, yeah. I mean,
First to get to an all-time high was actually Broadcom.
The Kawhi Leonard.
It was
Kawhi Leonard, everyone.
Surprise. Let's go to it's actually Sia at the desk.
IWM in the green, up by 1/3 to 1/4%. Individual tickers for today. First one, BE, Bloom Energy, up by 4.5%. Analyst comments, that's all I'm seeing here. Maintained at outperformed by Bard. And the next one I'm looking at is NXT. Next Power Incorporated, up almost 8% on it. They will be announcing its Q4 and full year financial results on the 12th of May. TBI, True Blue as well, will be, it's currently trading flat, but will be announcing Q1 results during the first week of May, specifically the 5th at 5 p.m. ET. Not seeing any crazy news over here, but NHI, National Health Investors, is down by 8.5%. A $560 million asset sale of skilled nursing and independent living facilities will buy the company, as the company has said, will be significantly increasing private pay senior housing concentration, strengthen the balance sheet, and enhance growth prospects. But the stock did react negatively. Look at that candle over there. The company, is, however, announcing its Q1 results on the 5th of May as well. That's all. Sending it back.
Yikes, that's a nasty one. Ooh, well, they might have faked it out at the 500 level there. Fake out. Or Tesla's trying to go.
Yeah, I think that might be it. We can get one more pull back into 1302. So
It's literally breaking the trend on this candle.
Yeah, it's breaking now.
Very much. We're talking about Tesla, but we're looking at we're kind of looking at the same thing.
I'm at TSLA.
Well, same.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing.
Or same difference, like some people would say. Although I hate that. I don't say same difference. I say same thing. But this is the confirmation candle, I think, from VWAP, would be this one right here. There's our close.
Yes, Dijon.
Hasn't really shown buyers above like 388, 80-ish. Now they're starting to come in. Probably needs to break the even dollar, and then it can be a shot. Come on, go. Come on, buyer, step in. There's not a lot of velocity in it either. That's the weird thing. Like I'd expect to see a little bit more velocity on this bad boy. We'll see. I'm not saying they're gonna rally into earnings, but sometimes you do get that little bit of someone just jammed it. Someone just got fed up and swiped it down.
Yeah,
a little bit on
there's
Tesla.
someone still,
until they stop selling
dollar.
Someone's selling it at 389, and then it gets up to 309 even, and it gets swiped down, and it gets up, and it swipes down. And in between that, it's just a bunch of deprints going on. So there's no real transacting that's happening in the middle, except for like someone every once in a while swiping down. They just swipe down again. I guess it's not a buy yet on Tesla.
It's not, man. Bitcoin's going though. There's a nice little trade on it earlier. It gave us a couple of re-entries on that one, so it's all right, man. It's been a half decent one.
SMR.
But yeah, SMR just went.
Oh, Oklow's going ham.
Is Oklo going? Do we try this one more time, Neil? I think so. Like, why not?
Oklo, SMR, and NNE are all going absolutely ham right now.
Are they? SMR's
up 11%, but Oklow's gone crazy. Oklow's now $71. Like this one's extending higher. What do we got on the daily? Oh, forget about the daily. We've got a huge topping tail into 73. It's not close enough. Generally know how I feel when something like this time of the day is trying to fill in one of these types of gaps. My first thought is if it already trapped people from 71 to 73 before, and now you have it going parabolic into 71 now.
NVTS.
I'm looking for a trade. What's going on with Navitas?
It's going nuts. Navitas is going nuts here today
too. Locates here.
Yeah, yes. I mean it's been strong all day, so yeah. I mean,
Navitas.
Yeah, Navitas.
Well, I mean, so much has been strong.
I've seen an upgrade the other day, or something along those lines. But yeah, Navitas is not too bad of a look here. Holding up the volume-weighted average price, and then off to the races it goes. So yeah, I mean there it is, man. There's relative strength across the board. There's typically a bull market somewhere, and there's multiplication. Good thing we didn't get involved with that Tesla because it looks like it wanted to break up, and then sure enough comes right back into that $13 mark. So it's just I mean it's something going on with it. No one wants to step in. it's just chopping a bunch of people up. If you're channel trading on that one, then just be cautious of what's going on because a clean flush to the downside. We have the market, like Palantir starting to flush. Palantir put in a new high of the day. Let's remove this USO coming off of the highs. So we had that kind of the decoupling on today's session, but Palantir steady grind higher, prints that high on volume. Maybe that's some stopping volume and just like, you know what, we finished offloading our inventory here today. That's what we would typically say, and then maybe you get a little bit move lower. So you're down about 50 or like 30, 40 cents or so off of that high. So not too bad of a look. Same thing with NVDA starting to break down. And there goes Tesla heading towards the support. So if it looked like it was going to break the trend, that hasn't been the case. And it's honestly doing the exact same thing it's been doing all day. So just be cautious on that. And we're trying to, so what Neil and I were thinking is just the fact that, okay, let's anticipate this potential trend break. But there was none. No one was participating on it. Tesla continuously selling, heading towards the low as you have the NASDAQ and the SPY just, again, in different modes right now. SPY being closer to the volume-weighted average price, and you're not too far off of the high on the NASDAQ being led by the likes of Microsoft and AAPL. Yeah, big breakdown here in Tesla. Let's pull it up here. A nice trade. Like, I mean, I don't have to put anything on it. It wasn't bad. Like, we went through our, we had 2 names on the list today. IBIT being the primary. Would have liked to get a little bit more out of it, but that's not necessarily the case. All right, let's pull up TSLL. Sure enough, we had the earlier entries on it, and then bang, we took a couple more attempts. Didn't go in the favor. We get out when we were supposed to, and there you go. Now you break. Flat bottom, you're breaking through support, and a slight uptick in volume as the overall market is coming into.
So 2 things. One, I just punched out a team, almost said team like Atlassian, battle. It just bounced off of that support there at 4, and I guess I'm not going to get. I guess I'm not getting the rest of this fill. I got partially filled. I got partially filled on this trend break in Oklo, but here's the thing. I'm going to look for that trend, like the topping tail candle, that trend, stop in here. I mean, the prior bar close, like the actual close is basically this high than the current bar. But then look at this trend from the bottom, from 1 o'clock. Like if it gets into that, I'm gonna respect it. So I'm really just looking for like this to that there. And I've canceled the rest of that order. Like if it snaps back up, I feel like I don't want it. Yeah, like if it snaps back up, and I don't want to take it against me on the way back to the upside. Think of it like that AMD, situation. Like it comes right back in here. Like, do you want to reload it? No, probably doesn't make sense at that point. Just let sleeping dogs lie, for lack of a better term. All right, so I have to redraw this trend line because I didn't save it. Now I'm going to hit save. Next time I pull this up, I don't have to do that again. But it's a moving target, so the longer this takes, I feel like the higher I have to bid here because I'm looking for that trend line to possibly bounce here on Oklo. And as Joe said, looks like Tesla's going to be an absolute nothing burger. Mm-hmm. I thought there'd be like a reversal because my whole thesis on Tesla was just sometimes you see, I'm just going to use the black chart and bring it down instead of moving away from here. I probably have to make a call there. Like sometimes you'll see like the distinct, like thing A is happening, like here a trend down, and all I'm looking for on earnings day is a reversal of that trend. So in this case, it would be looking for a long because it's been so weak all day long, but that's just not really happening over there on Tesla. So disappointment that Tesla's not giving you more juice. I promise you this, it's not going to be boring after 4 o'clock. We'll be here. Although we'll be turned around and facing the big desk because we've got that worked out. Again, so we'll be able to do our regular aftermarket show, I think, or the new regular aftermarket show where we're turned around, able to have that sort of discussion feel to it. The cameras are all set up. You've seen them all. So we all got those screens behind us, so we'll be all set up. I promise you, it'll be some fireworks come 420. That's for sure. And they're not the only one. We barely even talked about...
I love fireworks.
Yeah?
Well, no, like in the sense in which you're referring to.
Oh,
yeah.
No, but like in general,
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Fireworks are one of those things that, if we're being real about it, probably one of the most, like the amount of effort and resources and time that go into it probably seems insanely ridiculous. Like there's like, if aliens were watching us on news, like what are they doing and why are they doing this nonsense? But damn if it's not fun. And like, you know how you know it's cool? The first time like my daughter saw a fireworks show, my parents are in a condo and it kind of overlooks. You can see whenever it's like Canada Day or something. From my parents' condo, you get to see it in Saga, and you can see Toronto. You see like multiple areas of the GTA, all from one vantage point. And you can see all of it happening in real time. And it's
that was like
so
my,
cool.
oh man, I missed it. That was like the condo I owned in.
Aaron lose their mind when he saw it for the first time. It's like, whoa.
There's nothing more fun than Roman candle wars. Did you and your friends ever have those?
I never did anything like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Roman, there's nothing more fun than just you and your boys just on the street just pumping Roman candles at each other.
Right. Just quickly, I'm gonna jump out of that scalp and take what I can get. Just the buyers came in a little bit earlier. Like a trend line is a bit of it's a suggestion, not an exact science. And then there's a reversal candle. So I'm not gonna let that do something nasty. I'm just gonna jump out and just take the scalp trade that you can get. Like something moved, it gave a top. I didn't even have that great of an entry. Like ideally, instead of being in here in the 40s, like you wanna be in here in like the 60s. So right there, I gave up a quarter. So we'll take, again, it probably goes now like a chunk. But if it breaks this longer trend, I can try to jump back in underneath. That's another way I can go about it. Easy peasy with the, it's 0.2% of your daily earnings when you do 369.
Oh yeah, easy. Yeah.
Shall we spin the chicken dinner?
I don't have it, man. The chicken dinner winner. Yeah,
I don't think I have the chicken dinner.
Yeah, I don't have the chicken dinner.
I don't have it either.
We'll spin it for you, though. I want to bring something to our attention that Sia brought to us. I think she might talk about that momentarily, but MJ, the alternative harvest here, a nice pump up alongside some of the marijuana catalysts here today. Sia.
Marijuana.
Yeah, that is a great cannabis ETF just to take a look at. But let's also take a look at the market. SPY, the SPY currently in the green, up by 1%. I want to talk about two major things for now. AT&T, something I didn't cover earlier. So AT&T has also had an earnings beat today in the communications sector. Revenue at $31.5 billion, up 12.9% from a year ago. Quarter adjusted EPS at 57 cents versus the 51 cents in the year ago quarter. Now, operating income also standing at $6.7 billion and adjusted operating income at $6.9 billion. Capital expenditures at $4.9 billion and capital investment standing at $5.1 billion. Free cash flow is also at $2.5 billion versus the $3.1 billion in a year ago quarter. And 5G and fiber also in the core growth engine, and that segment alone grew about 5%. Another name that I do want to talk about today has been a great chart. GE Vernova has had a beat. GEV has delivered a clean beat, raised EPS at $1.44 versus the $1.97 estimate, up 71% year to date. But I'm going to take a pause and go to Adara.
Breaking news, guys. ASML, TSM, both to the downside. Interesting little headline here. ASML and TSM dropping after TSM reportedly says that ASML's latest equipment is too expensive to use. Unclear what the implications of this are going to be going forward, but TSM you might not expect to drop here. ASML certainly dropping pretty harshly or sharply here. Again, TSM saying that ASML's equipment is too pricey right now. Back to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, Adira. I'm just going to quickly finish just sending it right back to you after that. GE's chart looks pretty good here, but let's just quickly take a look at the sector. Electric tech doing pretty good, but we have GE down 4.12%. Intel also not having the best day at the moment. Technology services also quite a lot of it in the green. Health tech also LLY up 1.7%. Amazon up 1%. But sending it back to the guys. Lots of happening here.
Well, that sucks, ASML. There's no good, you can't sugarcoat that one. It's too expensive. Well, I mean, is there an alternative yet? I mean, the answer has been no for a very long time with regards to ASML. You need their technology if you're making advanced chips. But to have TSM, who really have a stranglehold on the market, to say that that's actually pretty bad. I'm a shareholder on this one. It's breaking the 50 period. The market's at the highs. Like, is this one of those I love you ASML, but I should just ring the register?
Wow.
Anyways, we'll see. It's 5% down and still falling here. Volatility. That's what you're seeing in ASML. That's what we've been seeing in these markets. It creates movement, and if you're a sophisticated trader, then hey, you want to take advantage. Beta Pro by Glovex offers Canada's first and longest running suite of leveraged and inverse ETFs built for sophisticated investors who understand the risks of leverage and the importance of precision. Its triple leverage bull and 3x bear ETFs tied to the NASDAQ 100 index are designed for daily tactical trades, providing amplified daily exposure and giving traders tools to engage with both upward momentum and market pullbacks. These strategies are currency hedged, seeking to offset USD exposure back to the Canadian loonie. For those navigating short-term market moves up or down, Beta Pro offers the flexibility to act with conviction, whatever that looks like for your individual strategy objectives and risk profile. Trade tactically and learn more at betapro.ca. I almost said Izzle, but I said...
Dude, how, like, there's just no one stepping in from a buying perspective here on Tesla. I thought this was going to be, like, the potential, right? Like, just from the detail, and it just continuously breaks the lows. Let's see if we can get a pop. There it was. I mean, back into 95. If we can get a print of 13s, that'd be more ideal. But as soon as you breach through some of these resistance zones, you can see just the defense step right in immediately. And there's just no signs of strength within this name right now. Just channeled to the downside outside of that first opening drive, like the first hour of the session. You head into 10:30, and then sure enough, you just haven't had the ability to find any signs of strength yet here, guys. So, I mean, like, it's a prayer, right? It's just like hoping for something that we're, from a history standpoint, it's proven that it's not necessarily going to work. Let's see that Pact of Patience is Minnesota. I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the case right now. Let's see. If we can grab a couple of pennies out of it, then we'll be happy. $20 super chat. I said that a little bit weird, but that's all right.
Here we go.
$20.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, thank you, Dave, very much. If you want a budget, rent a car from Avis. Happy Earth Day. Okay, is it Earth Day? Recycle something, friends. All right. Happy Earth Day.
Appreciate it. Well, you know what? You know what I believe?
What's that?
You don't, just because it's Earth Day, you do the right thing every single day.
Yeah, man.
That's
exactly.
Regardless of what that is, like, you live life the right way because it's the right thing to do. I like that Avis joke.
What'd your mama say?
I feel like the last time, I think we use it. We use Avis when we go down to Florida. I always rent a car when we do our spring training trip. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure we've been doing Avis every single time.
Okay. I usually go Hertz. Like in Jamaica, Hertz is one of the
Hertz? Yeah, actually in the
islands, Hertz.
Yeah, in Antigua, it's usually Hertz when we're down there. So Oklo, whatever. Potato. I never remember how I'm supposed to say it. Doesn't make a difference. It looks like it did bounce off the trend line, but it's putting in a lower high. So we're in the power hour. I feel like if this breaks that trend for real, I'll probably look back to this for the next trade. You just said, like, Tesla's not really, but it is bouncing.
It is a little bit. Like, we're in off the lows.
It looks kind of good.
It just doesn't. It looks kind of good, but it's not. Like, it's just not. See the mark? Okay, a nice little pop there. Bang. All right, bang. We'll take that. All right. A couple of times. Let's see if we can continue. There's a resistance zone. Like, there's always a seller just stepping right back in. But a nice curl over this is going to be a big resistance zone at 388.
Oh, it's still for Joe.
Yeah, 388. There we go. Bang. If we can print 13s on that flat, then yeah, we'll like that for sure. Let's get off of this and we'll head over to that. 13s, we'll hit the bid right now and just release half of it just in case. 13s, you can do it, Tesla. I have confidence in you to find a balance. The market is finding one. You can do it, as I typically say to Milo, but the bid continuously stepping in. We wanted to step in on the bid and have that ask lift up to 13.01. Doesn't seem like it wants to do it right now. So I guess we'll take half off now just for giggles and stuff like that. We catch that 99 print, provide a little bit of liquidity. There it goes. As we do so, you're getting a little bit higher of a print. So we'll take that nice little scalp to the top side.
There you go, and finally making that move. So hopefully Tesla goes all the way to VWAP, man. That'd be
nice.
390 up there is the volume weighted average price. There was a question someone was asking about a disconnect. Oh no, I don't see it anymore. No. Well, I think the general idea was, do we think we see like a disconnect between oil and like the futures, like the overall market? Now that we're getting into earnings season, I think that's a little bit more distinct. We've already seen some hints of it, at least a couple of days, not every day, but at least a few days we've already seen this, where we've been able to have, and we are seeing it today to a certain extent, right? Like look at USO, that's an uptrend. Look at the Qs. I know I should probably pull up the SPY, but what difference does it make? Right? Like it doesn't really make a difference, but the Qs are a little bit stronger than the SPY. But you still have a bit of a disconnect. Like the SPY's not as strong as you would like compared, because everything's all these chip stocks that are going higher. So of course you're going to have the Qs be stronger today. But there is a slight disconnect, which is a good thing. We're getting into earnings season. You want those numbers to matter more than random headlines, as we see. So I'm going to go back to my whoops, I just had Ion Q instead of Oklo.
Ooh.
Not even related. Yeah, this is not, it's bouncing off the trend line. I'm favoring a break here. So if you're using this for longs, congratulations to you.
Nice. I'm
I'm looking for re-engagement of the short. But you're getting there. I know that Tesla's starting to make a power move. So there's always trade. You just have to be patient, wait for it.
Exactly.
Maybe it's a bottoming tail candle for a long, maybe it's a topping tail wick for a short, or it's riding a trend line. You just wait and then pounce. Show a little patience.
Patience, young grasshopper.
Young grasshopper.
Who said that?
Well, I feel like I'm trying. You know what's weird? I've seen a lot of kung fu movies. I don't remember which kung fu movie actually had that line.
Had that one there?
I really
it's
don't.
said it across multiple kung fu movies.
But one of the most underrated kung fu movie of all time is The Five Deadly Venoms.
Daniel-san. Yeah.
Legit. Old
school. Post up, and then sure enough, it tanks. It prints 1301s, and I'm like, all right, yeah, let's post up to see if we can catch that fill. And then sure enough, it's just continuing. All right, come on, you can do it. Let's go. Give us that fill. We take an additional. So essentially, we were half off there. We'll take 20% of our remaining. Vault Builder, Joey, what's going on? Nice little trade here on TSLL to end the day, add a little bit more. I mean, we just went full size to what we were using from the rest of the day. So let's continue. There we go. A nice little uptick. You finally get it, hit the bid, and we catch a fill over there. So Tinkerbell said, okay, I don't even know. But yeah, aside from that, guys, I don't know. Someone said Tinkerbell said it to Jiminy Cricket. Did they?
That's good. The funny thing about it is, like, literally everybody is guessing. There's been probably 10 different guesses. I've seen Bloodsport. They say it's Mr. Miyagi, Kung Fu, the show, the series. Sorry, I don't think it was all the Shaolin Soccer. Those are all good. The last
How about
Dragon.
House of,
I don't remember which one.
You like House of Flying Daggers?
That was good.
That was such an old school movie, man.
Kung Fu the series feels the most right. Most people in the chat have been saying that, so I'm gonna go with that. And Mr. Miyagi's from Karate Kid is what Andre is saying in our chat. I just don't remember where the grasshopper line comes from. I've seen way too many Kung Fu things, and I don't see Dara. You would know if you'd watched all these movies.
I have not. I was just gonna say it's funny because I have seen the really questionable Karate Kid remake with Jaden Smith.
Ooh.
And so maybe that one, which is weirdly set in China, is where this comes from. And I say that completely sarcastically just to roast Jaden Smith a bit. In all seriousness, OG Karate Kid's great. We love Ralph Macchio.
Yes.
And Cobra Kai is really entertaining if you like mess.
I've seen some of Cobra Kai. I haven't watched it all, but I'll tell you this right now: I refuse to watch that Karate Kid, even if it had Jackie Chan. I still couldn't watch.
I might get hate for this, but I think that movie is good. No. Yes, it is. I think everyone's entitled to their own choices.
Oh yeah,
of course
they're absolutely entitled.
I just didn't see the first Karate Kid because I was not born during that time.
That's such a low blow. Literally half of us here weren't born then. That's a low blow.
Oh, it's a low. I mean, never mind all of those. The Three Ninjas are the best.
Oh, that was not a low blow, George.
Karate movie. You don't like the Three Ninjas?
No, I feel like shots just got fired.
Yeah, shots fired.
Look, man, I wasn't born when a lot of things came out. I still watched them. I'm just saying. There's lots
Bro,
of
name a
great
movie that
classic
you haven't watched that you weren't born.
What? No, like I've watched plenty of movies that were before I was born. Like, you crazy? My pops was a movie buff. Like all the James Bond movies are before I was. Like, all the good ones were before I was born. I still watched them. Anyways, let's get back to the market.
Yeah.
Luis Suarez, the Luis Suarez, watches our show. Oh, I'm just kidding. RCL done dumping at 260 before war end. Yeah, these are tricky. Like I feel as if like the entire group, whether it's the airlines, just the travel names in general, right? So you could be talking about the cruise lines, you could be talking about the airlines, and everyone wants to get out in front of it when this thing ends. And I just think you have to understand, if you buy like, consolidation dip, making the bet on it or something like that, and you're wrong about it and things escalate and this ends up like another 2 or 3 months, you probably need an out because it could get a heck of a lot worse for these, unquestionably. So as long as you have that understanding, I know I've been favoring, anytime it's looked good, I've been favoring CCL myself. I just feel like that's, like it's made a bottom, it reported, then it broke, as opposed to like you're right on the lows with an RCL there. But it gets just a personal preference. And then I'm really just talking about day trading for real. So if I'm really looking at day trade, I'm looking at that on the day trade side. But yeah, so it's just tricky because if things get really bad, you got to watch out. I'm going to go back because I just realized that IonQ, I still...
Like underdog?
I keep putting an IonQ instead of Oklo. It's hilarious. I don't know why. I want just one more shot at this.
Toro.
It's going to have to be down through 70 again. Another super chat here from Danker. Emergency White House conference incoming.
Okay.
You think? Well, here's... Yeah, well... When was the last time between 2 o'clock, and I'll give it to the aftermarket too, because we had some of these shocks, between 2 o'clock and let's say 6 o'clock, we didn't have something which caused some sort of a shock in futures or the energy markets, one way or the other. And then there's a two-parter. And when was the last time that whatever happened at that point in the afternoon still mattered at like 9:30 the next morning?
Yeah.
It doesn't always. Like, it's weird. It's weird like that. Like, I'm trying never to, like, in the moment, great. I'm reacting to news. I'm just no longer taking whatever happens the previous day or in the afternoon and caring too much about it for the next day's trade. It's like, just let that come as it is. Way less frustration if you approach things that way, I find. So we'll see what happens. This Oklo's not going to roll over at this point. Like, it's looking a little bit strong.
Oh, yeah?
I took the shot, but to me, this is the better break here. Like, if it breaks this trend line to VWAP, like, you can get a little scalp in here for like 50, 60 pennies, but kind of hunting for a break that's not happening here. Jesse Martinez says, never had a good trade in Power Hour. I think that's unfair. I think the part of the problem why people say they don't have as good trades in Power Hour is because, like if you look at when you get something off the open, there's just so much more opportunity for it to go. Like, you've got a much wider, you have all day, so you have the days range. You could have big time gaps get filled.
Yeah.
Whereas in Power Hour, you have a limited amount of time for your day trader for that to work. So I think you got to be in scalp mode. Like, that's why I take it one step and don't really always think about it going further. You have to adjust your trading.
There's so many. I won't even. So it can go either way, right? But there's so many times where, like, I'm on the show. It's like, okay, yeah, in the morning things don't go as well, but at the end, like from 3 till 4 o'clock, there's so many sessions that I can go through all of my data that I've turned those from red to green.
Go.
Obviously, you have the opposite, right? Like, it's like you're red, you stay red, but there's more often than not. Like, if we're talking about a 50%, like a 55 to 60% clip rate, where I'm red, and then from that 3 o'clock hour on, I have the ability to turn things around. So I like it a lot. You get into that detail, you read that tape, and you have precision entries. Like, I'm hyper focused. Like, I can't do it obviously now on the tape, but you're hyper focused. You post up at those orders, you see where those supply zones, and one of the examples is essentially where Neil and I were both trying to short Palantir. It was last week. And then you can just continuously on the tape see buyer stepping in, and you have the ability to identify that because you're not getting those volatile movements within the market. And I think if you really hone in, you can definitely start to turn things around. You go on streaks, right? Like, whether it's hot sometimes or it's not, it's the narrative, and that's just the nature of the beast. But there's ways that you can definitely turn it around. And the more detailed hyper focus, take your ADHD pill or whatever you need to do in order to get into that zone.
ADHD pill.
Yeah, what is it? Ritalin and the other one?
There was a context under which we were talking about that earlier today. I don't remember why we were talking.
Because it's on the subway. Sharif was talking about how they're just offering it on the subway now. Adderall, exactly, and all those, and just like boom, zone in. City of Gods was a good movie. City of God, yeah.
I think we're going to the desk.
Yeah.
I believe.
Dude, man.
I can confirm we are going to the desk. We're getting like so many comments here from White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. Apparently she's in a Fox News interview. She said that President Trump has all of the leverage. The U.S. has all the control. All of the cards with Iran are in Trump's hands. He has flexibility because of the ceasefire extension. Also saying the blockade is going to be or is currently on ships that are entering and leaving through Iranian ports. She wants Iran to turn over its enriched uranium to the U.S., saying Iran cannot send a unified message and that Iranians are, quote, or Iran, rather, the regime, if you will, is, quote, acting like a bunch of pirates. We also had comments from CENTCOM saying that the U.S. military has global reach, American forces are operating the blockade, and that any reports suggesting that ships have gone through the blockade are incorrect. So many comments being made by the U.S. right now. I also am seeing something about DJT, so I'll check this right now. DJT is pushing higher. We've got Daniel Merkin, who I believe is the CEO of Trade Ideas, saying that X is going to be merging with DJT. This is entirely speculative, totally speculative, 100% speculative, but either way, saying that DJT and X could merge. Now, if you know about the history between President Trump and Elon Musk, this seems even more kind of questionable. But either way here, DJT is pushing higher. Expect a post on X very soon. Back to you.
Thank you for that. So the dollar's holding near its one-week highs despite the ceasefire extension. So the U.S. dollar has steadied near recent peaks against the major currencies today after the Middle East uncertainty has lingered even after U.S. President Donald Trump's indefinite, until Sunday, ceasefire extension with Iran. You can see the chart here. It's right in front of me. The candle is, yes, it is in the green. But I do want to also talk about the British pound. GBP. Just a second over here. So the British pound has climbed in European trading, recovering from a one-week low versus the dollar. The positive momentum is also signaling a market bet on the steady BOE policy amid the global risks as well. And then we are also talking about the Japanese yen. Japanese yen has also advanced in the Asian regions against majors. Sorry, let me just pull up the chart really quick here. Yeah, the Japanese yen has also advanced in Asian sessions against majors, attempting to rebound from lows after the U.S.-Iran ceasefire extension has eased certain safe haven pressure on the dollar. But there could definitely be some potential intervention risks if the yen weakness does persist.
Yeah. You might have heard me just say like everything you need to know about that headline for DJT. That's utter nonsense and it's cap.
Wait oh, okay, there you go, bang.
That's cap.
You know what I mean?
Like the second Adara even said, Adara just goes, DJT and X would merge? What are we talking about? You crazy? You crazy?
Yeah, that is madness.
Crazy, bruh. Okay, so this is the full retrace. And I'm out. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard, man. And I've heard, like, come on, son. What are we talking about?
I've heard some dumb things.
What are you talking about? No. It's absolutely not happening. Now we can go back to talking about, like, okay, fine, let's just talk about more reasonable, because that's just ridiculous. I can't even believe, like who bought that? Like, who was buying that on the way up if that's the headline? What? Like, are the algos that stupid? Really? No, no, come on, man. Anyways, look, the Tesla, a real stock is going up and Tesla's going into earnings the next 30 minutes. That was so ridiculous. By the way, shout out to how fast it takes to process locates at real trading. Because DJT was not free locates, but it takes seconds to get those locates. And they cost 0.00026 cents per share. But yeah, that's so silly.
Tom, that's crazy, Tom. You know who it is, my boy Tom. Wait, you see what he said?
What? Who said what?
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, I know you're a joker, man. We spam that. Yeah, exactly.
Ricardo? Okay, you know what?
What?
Done.
What's up?
Ricardo Trader Sr. Neil, will you eat a pineapple pizza if true? I don't know how long it would take me to eat an entire pineapple pizza, but how about this?
What's that?
If there is an actual merger between DJT and X, I will suck it up, Buttercup, and maybe we'll have to get it at like 11 o'clock and just give me the rest of the afternoon to eat it. And a reasonable. I'm not eating like some double X or triple X large nonsense.
Why is it so long for you to eat that?
Because it's disgusting, Joe.
Even if it
I
had
don't like it.
proper ham on it?
Okay, well, am I allowed to have like ham and make hot
that's a part of
peppers on it?
that's a part of the pineapple pizza. You can't have the pineapple pizza without the ham on it.
But I'll do that.
That's the whole principle.
And Reverend Millionaire, I have done it. I lost a bet on the show and I had a slice.
I was there.
I did it. It was just a slice, but I did it. And if they merge,
Yes.
if X merges with DJT, absolutely I'll eat a whole pineapple pizza because it's not happening. But I'm sorry. I'm finding this way too amusing, to be honest with you. I just can't believe anybody would believe that story. Let's go back to Adara.
I'm also finding it amusing because I decided to repost this good old infographic from what has got to be like almost a year ago now. I will also post this link in the chat so you guys can go down this rabbit hole. But Elon Musk and Donald Trump, or Trusk, as they were often referred to, what a relationship this was. I have an entire infographic that just goes through the Tesla chart and then tracks comments that they've made about each other going back from, like, I think late 2024 all the way to their very, very public breakup on June 5th of 2025. So I'll drop the link to that in the chat so you guys can see this again. But Trusk, maybe we're reunited. It's worth noting. I read through this whole post again, and the more you read it, the more speculative it is. Daniel Merkin, who again, CEO of Trade Ideas, also went as far as to say that if this merger happens, it can somehow resolve AMC and GME, which I don't really know what that means. But either way here, I will drop the link to this post in the chat so you can A, read about this most recent headline, and B, take a look down Trusk memory lane, because, well, why not?
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We got a super chat, but word of advice, DJ Vinny, because I have to show it this way, DJ Vinny. If you put a message, then we have that like cool, throw the graphic up and then the music comes on, like that thing. That. What? Oh, it works now? Okay, so apparently I can show it. But we just got another super chat, so I will refresh that page because apparently I'm being told that I can show those even if they don't have a message. Although I think it's pretty cool if you just throw a message up there. Bears, Bulls, Battlestar Galactica. Why not? If you had to bet DJT and X merge or car to $1,000, car to 1,000. What are we even talking about?
Yeah, what are we?
Car to 1,000. What else you want to throw at me? You could throw those at all day long. I'll just keep picking the other thing, all day, every day.
Okay.
As you can tell, I just don't think. I just think that is. I think that's highly unlikely.
Yeah.
I can be diplomatic about it too.
Yeah, I agree. Let's pull up this. Let's pull up our screen here, Assassino. So just like in the latter half of the day, this started to work out really well for us. At some point, we thought we were going to get the trend line break, and sure enough, that was the case. So you have the break off of these lows. The devil is within the detail, and I seen the volume step in right here, and then we have more indecision prints. That was my green light to go. Now, we shoot over a 60% clip rate on this name, and we climb right back into the volume-weighted average price. Appreciate that, Tom L. Did you see me put it in the chat? I don't know if you've seen me put it in the chat, being sarcastic, obviously. Aside from that, no, it was a good trade, and we waited quite some time for this. Was it the continuation, or was it the time that we wanted it to happen? No, we would have liked it significantly sooner, but that's not the case, all right? Darius, Joanne, remember that dumb end of the day volatility yesterday building the range in SPS? Think something crazy might happen at close today? I'm not getting that feel. Like, we had that up and down yesterday. We were trading NVDL. That was working well for us. We grabbed some TSLL, but, I mean, anything can obviously happen. I just don't get that headline sensitivity. Maybe the market's a little bit exhausted and kicking it to the curb for now until something big comes in. We also have an extension on the ceasefire, so I don't know if there's going to be that massive driver. Okay, all right. We'll send that over here momentarily, but we head right into VWAP. This was the latter half. We had it in the morning as well too, so things are starting to work out pretty good. And then we also had that IBIT long that we waited all day for essentially. Adair, what do you have?
What I have, Joe, and more comments from Caroline Leavitt outside the White House talking about the U.S. blockade, saying that President Trump is satisfied with the blockade. U.S. is aware of who it's dealing with in Iran. She's making like a comment every minute here. But again, saying that President Trump has, A, not only has he not set a firm deadline for the proposal? So she's denying the 3 to 5 day deadline for the extension. But she also said that this entire timeline is completely inaccurate. So she said there's no deadline set for when this extension ends. There's no timeline for when the extension could end, and that he will dictate the timetable on his own when he decides to, apparently. So yeah, basically just giving us even more uncertainty here is White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt currently speaking to reporters outside of the White House.
A little bit of volatility stepping in. Yeah, he's good, man. He's Bizzle Rizzle. He's just on vacation. Anyways, aside from that, like a little bit of volatility steps back in. I don't know why you would put a deadline on it. Like, especially only a couple of days, the initial one that is. It's just like, okay, hey, yeah, we're going to have a ceasefire. And at some point, obviously the objective is to come to an agreement. So why not make it significantly longer than what it needs to be?
Well,
as they typically say, measure twice, cut once.
Because I think you want to keep it's idea to put pressure on. I think it's just about pressure at this particular point. By the way, we just hit 3:30, so we're getting a bit late on, closer to the close. This is a time I like to try to show everybody the imbalance locator. Nothing crazy. PPL and BNS, not much over the million. Teladoc might stand out there at 900,000. Yeah, Cliff, they reported 975,000. CRM's a buy of 700,000 shares. We're going to go back to the desk. We've got Sia again.
Thank you for that. We're just going to take a quick, I'm sorry, my computer is crashing here for some reason. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I'm going to send it back to you. There's some problem with the computer.
15% now on SMR. 15%. It is now at yesterday's high. Like, so everything that got sold off. What's crazy? This is the second time SMR has done this. Drop 13.20 to 11.4. The next day, revisit the highs. Drop 13.20 to 11.5 and right back into the highs. That is insanely bullish. You can have those types of drops and twice recover the following day, like V-shaped recoveries twice in a calendar week. Yeah, I think it's time to get back into this stock.
Think so?
Yes. Well, so I'm a big fan of the whole, it's a falling knife that I want to buy eventually. It confirms the hold of the 50-period moving average.
Fair.
There is your bounce off the lows. There is your 50-period, no confirmation. Here you get back above, and then again, you rinse it again, but then hold, and now you're going to have a close. I would say this is a bit of confirmation above the 50-period moving average. I'm willing to get punked on this. Like, if I get it long when the stock has done this, and I grab this or grab that breakout to get back into the stock, I can lose like that. Like, if I'm going down and losing trade on the swing on SMR, it has to be something like this. Like, come on, they're gonna buy this back up. The only question is, do I literally just want to buy it? Would I buy it in the aftermarket? I just buy it wherever it is in the morning. Yeah, let it confirm. It's a daily chart. It has to still be there in the morning. Be silly to buy it, and then all of a sudden, like, it opens up for whatever reason underneath 12 bucks. Like, it should at least be opening, because if I pay 14, if I pay 14, does it really make a difference? It doesn't. But if I buy this here and it opens gap down, then I shouldn't have been in it in the first place. So yeah, the confirmation doesn't really make much of a difference. There's room up to the 20s and 25 on this bad boy, incredibly strong.
Yeah. Let me say something on that, Neil. So you see the pattern here, like remove that breakout. What we experienced in SMR is essentially what we were looking for in Tesla today, right? Like, that's what you were looking for. You have that strong opening drive, and then sure enough, you have that channel down, and then you break up. So essentially what happened in New Scale Power, absolute monsters. My eyes have been on this for the past couple of days, and I've missed the train on it. But what we were looking for, Neil and I both, in Tesla, didn't happen. It happened in SMR. I'm not saying there's that major correlation between the two, because there is none, but it's identical price. Yeah, it's exactly. It's identical setups and price action that we were looking for, where it happened in one and it didn't happen in the other.
That's why I'm a big fan of just, if you see the setup, you take it, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's a huge move, sometimes it's a small move. You can't always predict which one is, like, what's going to be what. Which is going to be which is probably the better way to put it. Which is going to be which. What I can tell you is this, waiting around for this oak low, it's now 333. I might not get a second chance at this on OKLO. because of how, I just don't see getting that trend break into the downside. Out of morbid curiosity, I'm curious to see if anyone's rebuying this rumor on DJT. No one seems to be silly enough. I didn't mean to be glib about this. And in some ways, you know what? Okay, all the X jokes aside and how obvious and ridiculous that pop-up to just now was, I don't think it made a lot of sense, but everything I was just saying about SMR applies to a lot of stocks. Like, I could show you that same setup here on DJT. Now, if DJT holds it, I'm not buying it. The reason I'm gonna buy it in SMR is because I like the actual upside push that it provides because of the space that it's in. Like, I believe also in what they're doing. Like there's a there for SMR. You know, SMR out of the group of some of those nanonuclear names, like they've got more approvals than some of their competitors. They don't necessarily have a product to sell yet, but they're at least a little further along in terms of approvals, and I like them. But just because there's a setup, sometimes you can just say no. Like I wouldn't take that setup on DJT for a swing, but I would take it on SMR because I just fundamentally like one over the other, and they could both setups could end up working, and it doesn't really matter. It's a little bit of a
print on SMR.
Just now?
Yeah.
Oh, don't make me.
Don't tempt you with a good time.
It looks like a short. Nah, I'm not doing it. Back to the desk again, I believe.
Yeah.
It does look good, though.
It does look pretty good.
It does look.
Sorry about that. I had a bit of a technical difficulty, but Bitcoin trading around the $79,000 region following certain geopolitical easing. We do know about U.S. President Donald Trump's ceasefire with Iran, the extension. Bitcoin's Bolt Score Index also has entered neutral territory. ETH is also approaching certain resistance. Solana has extended and is also vulnerable to pullback. XRP currently, I would say, flat, not doing anything major, but up 0.3%. DOGE also showing accumulation, which means that it is probably in its early breakout phase, but that's all for your crypto.
Rejection.
Somebody
knows something.
Somebody knows something, Tesla. Someone's got a feeling about this.
Yes, sir.
Every single pop. Like, you get the pop. Don't get me wrong, like, you're getting popped. You just, if you're, like you said before, like if you're patient enough, you're getting the pop, and then they just sell it a little bit here. But I decided not to maybe take that in SMR.
20 minutes
I'm
left.
kind of starting to think maybe I will.
Yeah, I agree, Rain.
Like here's so,
like that,
so from the high. So here's your high of day break. I was looking at the longer term, but no, that's not the right one to look at. It's the high of the day breakout. There it is. There's the pullback. Then it takes the trend line up. There's a false break, and then you get the trend line. So a break of this, I think that'll be my last shot at something before we get into like the imbalances, like the nitty gritty on the imbalances. I don't think there's anything crazy. There's no big imbalances expected tonight, at least none that I was able to see. But you never know. Sometimes they just pop up out of nowhere, and we can go into them. Aptim, I did not see FICO, and Antonio Power says go long. There's another way that you can trade this. Like you can look at that trend line, and you can maybe buy this in here with a really tight stop, and then try to scalp it for 10 to 15 cents. Or like try to risk, maybe like if you can find a 5-cent stop in there, and then try to scalp it to the high. That's not really my cup of tea. I'd rather do that kind of a thing earlier on in the day, where then I'm also holding a piece for if the trend just continues for the rest of the day. That makes more sense to me. At the end of the day, I'm just looking for that one little entry, and then hoping is the right word, because you're just taking the setup and you want it to continue, and then hoping you get in and it flushes.
Yeah.
And I'd rather take that shot on SMR if it happens. It doesn't even look like it wants to, though.
Like, these things don't, SMR, like that signal that we were just talking about, it's like, yeah, whatever. We're going to disregard that and continue to climb higher as you're right at the wick end of the wick high, essentially, of this SMR print. Let's get over there. We have our eyes on Tesla. We pieced some out. Jesse, you see this one earlier today? Or just, I guess, not too long ago, we're still sitting in it right there, bone pop all the way up to the top into the volume-weighted average price. Pretty good look. But as for SMR, it's strong. Like, look at the tape. Just everybody's just buying the dip, essentially. The ask is continuously lifting. 3-star. Joe, is that 3 stars that good? We want 10 stars, right? Or 5-star at least, man. What kind of 3-star is that? What kind of kind of BS is that? But no, 15 and a fifth percent here on SMR. Appreciate the stars anyways. Aside from that, man, a big time move. And I was looking for this over the past couple of sessions. I'm like, man, all right. Yesterday we took the hit on it unintentionally, and there it goes, off to the races, now printing a new high. So SMR has been an absolute monster on today, especially in the latter half. And the channel that we are looking for earlier in Tesla happened to be in SMR, and this was one of the stocks that was on my primary list yesterday, not necessarily today. So it's unfortunate. Nah, bro, haven't really been paying attention to anything other than TQs and Apple. Just saw the chart. Good-ish laddie. Absolutely, brother. Netflix is still weak today. Look at the 5-minute rejection. There it goes, 13.50 on SMR.
This is insane.
Yeah, it's going nuts right now. And a nice recovery, Neil. I like how you pointed this out on the day. I mean, it's almost doubled. Like, I mean, not quite, but we're getting there. You know what I mean? Yeah. From $8 all the way up to $14. You're only a couple points, a gap up, and you have a double essentially.
And this 13 area that it's breaking out, if you zoom out far enough on like the daily chart or maybe throw up like a weekly or monthly, you'll find that there was a prior support level there on SMR. Yeah. And I only say that because I remember my initial entry in my long-term account into SMR was at like 13.20 something. And I remember getting that entry. It was between 20.50 and 13.5 that it had like a key support level, and I remember getting in on the upper end of that range. But yeah, we'll see. There's only about 10 minutes till the imbalances. This might not actually break down, but we can hunt for it for sure. Congrats to anyone that has it to the long side there. This is an interesting one, Gotham House. Let me throw this up.
Yeah, throw that up there.
This is just, it's not a super chat, it's just a question.
Yeah.
What is the advantage of investing in a $100 stock versus a $1 stock? I'm assuming the charts, tape patterns remain the same, so I would need a lot more capital to trade versus. That is true. Where there becomes a difference, and this is probably the only real difference, there almost never exists a $1 stock that isn't at $1 for a reason. Where like nothing opens up at $1. The things that come to market underneath, let's say $15 or $20 are SPACs that come to market at $10. And the structural difference in SPACs is just a different beast. So if you become, like if you're that cheap, oftentimes it's because it's highly speculative, it's got a ton of risk, it has been beaten up, the company has failed, like there's just, you're not getting down there without a reason. So like that is the major difference. Now when we're trading, if you're just looking at patterns, you do have to consider spreads. Not all penny stocks or small cap stocks are the same. Some of them will have 1 cent spread like you would expect, and other ones will have wide spreads because they're not as liquid, and you have to consider that. It's the same thing with larger cap stocks. So some of them will rhyme with each other, but fundamentally if you're looking at the charts, patterns are patterns. Like if I'm comparing, here's an example, like SMR is $13 and OKLO is 70. As a day trader, I treat them literally no different. One is 5 times the price, it just doesn't matter. Like the trade is the trade, right? Like yeah, you might, like because of the actual notional value difference, like you just, if it's by 5, you just can take 5 times as many shares of the cheaper one. It's just, the math is the same. The math is the same way. Oh, for the love of Neil. That's ridiculous what I just said. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's 340.
It's
the math is, you get the idea. Like it's just about the pattern. But yeah, but you're a dollar stock for a reason. They are different.
Is it actually?
Do we not get to SSR on CAR? Man, CAR has been SSR for a while now, hasn't it? It's down 20-something%. Yeah, like this hit SSR where? At $640? So this went SSR somewhere around here. So the uptick rule is in effect today in Avis and tomorrow on Avis automatically. So you will not be able to short Avis like by hitting the bid unless the last tick is green. That's the uptick rule. And it used to be in effect all over the place. Like it used to be every stock was in the, like when I started trading, everything was the uptick rule, which is a pain in the butt.
That's crazy.
As a trader. You know what though? Sometimes if you learn to trade under restrictive or something that feels restrictive, like when it wasn't there, all of a sudden like it just opened up. Like shorting became like so good as a day trader when that wasn't in effect because you learned to participate in a downward trend when you couldn't hit the bid. If you learned to trade downward trends in an arena where you couldn't hit the bid when you wanted to, it forced you to be really good at shorting the pops.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Right, and that teaches you about joining the trend in a much more patient way. Like imagine if you learned, imagine trading, but you can't hit the ask. Like you can only get hit as the stock is coming down, and you want to go long in something that's upward trending. Think of the discipline that would teach you if you're just starting out in trading, and then all of a sudden you learned under that, and then it gets taken away, and you don't have that restriction. Oh well, look at how good you become buying the dip.
Yeah.
Vice versa. So anyways, it's. Hey.
Yeah, it is.
Someone just said peep the imbalances. There's nothing crazy. It's still just PPL, BNS, and Cleveland Cliffs. Pfizer's there for $1 million. Teladoc's still there for 950,000 shares. Nothing terribly exciting, unfortunately.
Thanks,
But
Angry.
Angry? What's Angry saying?
You can see what they said on there.
I don't know.
Let's pull this up. We'll hop into this.
I'm seeing. Oh, come on now. Random oddities. Why did that get blocked?
Why?
People have said that live on the. He typed slap that ask.
Yeah, stop that ask.
That's literally been said by Obi about 100 times.
Yeah, he says it.
So if it gets said by a host, you're probably allowed to type it in the chat without it getting.
ASK.
We also once iconically said, damn, look at that body about a candle on Amazon. So like, I feel like he has just really tested the bounds for what is allowed to be said in this chat.
Yeah, he's a bit of, he likes to push the boundaries.
Oh, yes.
I would say that's pretty fair.
Is there, I mean, what fun is it if you're not tiptoeing on the edge a little bit?
Standing on shaky ground, too close to the edge. Let's see if I know the ledge.
All right. What was I going to do here? I mean,
You don't know that line, do you?
I have no idea. I wanted to take a look at the
hip-hop
sectors here today. 2% on tech. Energy, you're up 1.3. Communication services, you're up 0.5%. Now, as for our earnings, we're going to be going into that. Brendo setting up now. We're going to get into some of the reports. Let's head over there. We already know who's going to be the main event of tonight, and that's going to be Tesla. We have LRCX, Lam Research. Someone was asking me, but did we have a super chat about Lam? Pull that up if we do, Assassino. IBM, Philip Morris. That was this morning. Let's get the after the close. There was just a super chat, I think, that we might.
I'm going to look for it.
Yeah. Why did we go all the way down here, man? What day is it? What kind of, come on, man. After close. This isn't that complicated. All right. There we go. Oh, why does it keep doing that? Oh, okay. I see. I know why. Okay, so yeah, I mean, we gone over Tesla, LRCX, IBM, Texas Service, ServiceNow, Kinder Morgan, United Rentals, Waste Connections, Las Vegas Sands, Crown Castle as well, Raymond James also on there. So, I mean, definitely the top of the list. Tesla, Lam, IBM, Texas Instruments, and ServiceNow are some names that we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on. Looking forward, with obviously Tesla being the largest out of all of them with a $1.5 million market cap, $1 trillion market cap. So, all right, as he said, yeah, that's what he says, bro.
I can't believe
seemingly.
Daniel just said in the chat that Daniel and myself are the only two people that got the Rakim reference.
I've
never seen the movie Juice?
No, well, I mean, I might have a long time
Coming
ago.
out of the building, they set me up. Sprayed
Tupac,
by
right?
automatics, they wet me up. In a puddle of blood, I lay close to the edge. I guess they
crazy.
didn't know the ledge.
Did
you
Tupac
know that
not
joint?
star in this?
Yeah, Juice
Yes.
with
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I own the DVD. I haven't seen it yet, but I do own the DVD.
But that's like the title. That's the title track. Know the Ledge by Rakim.
That's crazy.
Nobody know. That's fine. You know what? I just thought of something because if ever I decide that it's over with ASML. By the way, ASML took that story and said, "Who cares?" So they bought that sucker right back up, like right back up, everybody. But if I ever decide, I want to finish the thought. If I ever decide that I'm done with ASML because competition has got the better of them and they lose their monopoly, then I think I'll stop praising Lam and then own Lam. But I'm in the terms of the companies that make the machines that make the chips. There's AMAT, there's Lam, there's ASML. ASML stands out because they have a monopoly. They have a complete and total and utter monopoly with their product. They don't really have true competition. I think that's where they stand out. If that ever changes, Lam is an unbelievably good company. I don't really know if I would love it up here. This should be a big one. I find this is not a stock that many people would day trade. It's more day tradable now that since they've had the split. But this is a bellwether name. This is a pretty decent bellwether name. If there's concerns about their growth, if their guidance is poor, then you can see it heavily reflected when we come in tomorrow and look at the stocks. Almost 100%. Okay, less than 1 minute till the imbalances come in here for sure. Let's see. Ooh, XLF. I haven't seen that ETF up here on the imbalance locator in a hot minute. It's been a while. Definitely been a while. Pfizer's still there, 1.5 million. These are not gigantic, but sometimes I like to track these ETFs if they happen to have an imbalance. You might get a decent move. What's XLF doing? This is the other thing I kind of like. You got to buy imbalance in a downward trend, which gives you the chance to maybe play it off of the lows. So I'll keep this one up. It's not huge. I need to see more than a few million shares on that. Ideally, that'd be better. So imbalances just dropped. You've got MAPS, 3 points. That's a penny stock. NVIDIA, 2.1 million to the buy side. Marvell, 1.4 sell on Marvell. Qualcomm, sell 1.2. Amazon, you've got a buy of 1.2 million. That Marvell, that's a pretty decent size for Marvell. So 1 point, barely even moved. They just shrugged that one off like it was nothing. So only 1.4 million to sell, and it just goes down 30 or 40 pennies then on MRVL. So not a big initial reaction. NVIDIA, that buy, I don't even know what MAPS is. Oh, garbage penny stock, 3.6 million. It's still a decent amount of the volume, but probably a nothing burger there. And then XLF didn't even move. Kind of a nothing burger there. Let's peep what's going on with Tesla. If there's no big imbalance trade, then focus on Tesla and Lam and IBM and looking at those. Tesla right back into the low of the day. ServiceNow is going to end up going into earnings. At VWAP up a couple points here, but a little bit of a sell for sure. I didn't mean to. Yeah, I know what MAPS is. People are mocking me for saying, I don't know what this map. I know what a map is. I don't know that stock.
Did you ever use?
Does anybody? But what? Anybody knows this stock until they just looked it up right now because it was on the locator? No, you don't. No, you don't. I don't either. What is this thing?
What is that?
Literally, WM Technology Inc. Yeah, whatever. No clue. I don't. SMR, someone asking about SMR, the imbalance. I don't see it near the top. You got IBIT I just saw in there. I guess I could just go alphabetically if someone's really curious about what SMR's imbalance is. There's way too many stocks on here, but I just went right past it.
Yeah.
Does
Weedmaps even still exist?
Does what?
Like, you remember, I don't know if you ever had it, but before it all became legalized, like to find a dispensary, there's this app called Weedmaps, right? And it would show you all the dispensaries around. But now here in the city, I don't even think you need it because every other store is a cannabis store.
I did not.
Downtown. Yeah, which is insane. Like literally, you can't walk a block in either direction without seeing a couple of them.
Huh.
Yeah, just use it for Colorado. Yeah, aside from that, Maps is garbage. Yeah, it's been a pretty good one, guys. We have about 8 minutes left. Skin up for a show up. What does that mean? A 420 Bud Monster. What's up, man? I didn't see the name. Yeah, I mean, we can get into what we got going on here after the bell, guys. Tesla 405 apparently. Let's see if that comes out on time. We'll be patient, wait for that. ServiceNow 410, Lam Research coming in at 405, IBM going to be in at 410. So we have a couple of them. TXN as well, right at the bell. Oh, Southwest also right at the bell. 4:30 Southwest is going to happen. Adara.
I was going to say, we could also just look at these expected moves right here in order of when they're going to be released. So here they are. Here are the biggest ones. Southwest isn't on here because I didn't see an expected move forward at the time, but Texas Instruments, CSX, right at 405, you've got Tesla, LRCX, LVS, and ServiceNow, IBM, as mentioned. 415, Molina Healthcare. This is mostly going to be of note because A, it tends to move pretty huge on earnings, and B, Michael Burry is actually involved in this one to the upside, and I say that in that questioning voice because if you've seen the daily chart, you may also wonder why he is involved in this to the upside. That being said, I am shocked to tell you guys that the second smallest expected move is on TSLA. So it's CSX and then Tesla. Tesla only a 5.3% expected move, though this would be larger than its last earnings move of around 3.5% to the downside. Back to you.
Yeah, it's shockingly small, the expected move, I think. I'm surprised. No questions asked. Like,
What would you want to see?
no, I just feel like coming into it had been coiled up for so long. Like, look at that very distinct, like, tight range that it sat in on the daily chart for a long period of time. I think when you release the coil, I'm expecting much more. Mopar, hey Neo, you the past, bro. My time is now. Yes.
Yeah.
I love the quotes and the references. Daniel, we've got son of Daniel Gouda Guru. For the record, SCDI headquarters still shows up on WeedNet.
All right, man, he's got that cheese. That's funny.
Yes, the cheese dispensary business is highly lucrative, and we all believe in it.
Yeah.
We all believe in it.
Got that moon cheese coming in soon.
That's the future right there.
Look at this, Neil. 445. I mean, we're talking about a $400 drop. The stock was cut essentially off of this high. It's been cut in half, 47%. Oh my God, this is insanity. This is one of the coolest names. I mean, you grab a couple of shares, whatever it may be, if you're fortunate to catch the highs or be one of those individuals who are shorting it along the way and you're catching hundreds of dollars per share, man, oh man, what an absolute ride. We had a feeling that it was going to happen relatively soon. And sure enough, this was the session that I'm talking about you want to look for. But considering how much it's dropped here today, are you going to find somewhat of a relief rally or a continuation in today's price action? Where is your car put? Dude, there's zero chance I'm buying one now. Let's pull up the actual options chain on this thing. I like the way the things were. So we did a spread on it. I did a metric, I believe it was on Tuesday or something along those lines, where it was profitable. You could set up the spread, but then it somehow became negative as we continued on, which made no sense. And we reconstructed an additional spread on Tesla just to make sure I wasn't losing my mind. And somehow the probability and your risk profile came out negative on car, which I've personally never seen before. I don't know how that works, but let's pull it up here now. Oh wow, 338%. Some of these puts. What? Oh, okay. Okay, that's not bad. Things are starting to cool down a little bit. So something that was worth like 10 grand, I thought I was losing my shirt. I thought this was $45,000. No, it's only $4,500. So we're starting to come back in a little bit as we continuously sell. We were talking about these contracts not too long ago, like the 500. Like we dropped $400 today, which is absolutely insane. So some of these things were worth like $37,000. Let's head over to this 750 put, something that we were talking about not too long ago, and just see. You can see there's a little bit more liquidity stepping in along the lines now. How much has this appreciated? You can't even get the liquidity. Like you can't even see essentially. Oh my God, Neo.
That's so absurd.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. Wow, like 300% on that contract from $6,800 to $26,000 in the same intraday session. Hey, man.
Things that make you go,
Yeah, I know. It's just like, all right. It's insane. $432. This thing was $850 a couple hours ago, right?
Don't see that every day.
No, and I mean, we can go back and I'll take a look. Can you make your own liquidity? No, I don't think you can. Like, how do you do that?
Can you make your own liquidity?
Yeah, no.
Well, you know what the interesting thing is? 2 minutes enough time? There's a way that people used to generate, like whale traders would generate liquidity at like a key price level. Like what they would do is so imagine somebody had like a big long position. Let's say they had like 1 million shares long in a stock, and it was at a spot where they're looking for the bounce, but they knew there was a bunch of people that are like, oh, they're like a little bit hesitant.
Yeah.
And it's like shaking around a little bit. So what they would do is they'd take like 100,000 of that million, let's just say, and they would smoke the bid, trapping a bunch of people, like getting a bunch of other longs out and trapping a bunch of panic shorts. And then once that happened, that little wipeout, they'd buy back like 200,000 the other direction. So now they have more than they had before, and they flushed a bunch of people out, and then it would cause a turn in the stock. And so it's clear and rampant manipulation that like big traders used to do. Okay. Like I'm not talking about like day traders and prop traders. I'm talking about like institutional traders. You know what I'm saying? And you would see it happen and know you've been dirtied, and there's just nothing you could do about it.
Not a thing, man.
And you hear the stories after the fact of people bragged about what they do.
No, it's not.
And the funny thing is, it's the day trader that's getting smoked
course.
in that situation. You're the one that's getting bagged. But they do, that kind of stuff happens.
400
and we have 1 minute to go, so we're gonna send it back to the desk. We're gonna get flipped around here so we can get oriented. We got Tesla, we got Lam, we got IBM, we got ServiceNow. We've got the aftermarket show back in the building with the old or the new old look that we got going.
Printed.
All right, welcome in. Yeah, about a minute to go here as we wrap up what's going to be a positive day. I was just having a look at the S&P 500 specifically because don't look now. We could have an all-time high close here for both. I mean, NASDAQ's definitely going to be all-time high close, but the S&P looks like it's going to get there as well. So not only are we positive on the day, but it's going to be that's not the Dow. It's going to be an all-time high close potentially for both NASDAQ and S&P 500. So right now we are about 0.7 for the Dow, S&P's a full percent, 1.6 for the NASDAQ. How was your afternoon going?
My afternoon was a little crazy, Brendan. We had some comments coming through from Ms. Caroline Leavitt that were kind of all over the place, and a lot of times either repeating things we've already heard or completely saying other things we hadn't heard of. But, we've got the NASDAQ smashing records. The Dow is at 50,000. We'll have to see if the S&P 500 does the same. But let's talk right now about Tesla, if I may go through a speed run here.
Go for
what
it.
to expect from these Tesla earnings. Here is the look at what we're expecting here from this report. Revenue just under $22 billion, EPS around 37 cents a share. Elon Musk made lots of promises that we already seem like we're maybe behind on. During the last report, he said that they were going to get production ramps for Tesla Semi and Cybercab starting in the first half of 2026, which we are now more than halfway done, Brendan. But here's a look here at some of the deliveries. Now a second sequential decline in a row on these Tesla deliveries. More weird Elon Musk faces with our next visual, because I think Terafab, Brendan, was maybe one of the biggest things we got out of TSLA during the last couple months. Now, Tesla, it's going to be SpaceX, it's going to be XAI, Intel, and according to SMCI is also involved, but no one else has confirmed that. And then last but not least, here's a look at last quarter. Last quarter, not a great look for Tesla. Auto revenue was down 11% year over year. Operating income down 11% year over year. Operating margin relatively flat here. Auto revenue, as mentioned, it was not a great report, but let's see what happens next time.
I don't want to interrupt you, but Lululemon spiking here, guys. Former Nike executive, Heidi O'Neill, the new CEO at Lulu.
I was just thinking we needed a CEO announcement from them.
So initially higher here for Lulu, but right back down through the lows. So again, Lulu has picked former Nike executive Heidi O'Neill as their next CEO. That's from the Wall Street Journal. The stock itself doesn't really know what to do with that, but I mean, it's, as you were saying, it's been a while.
Yeah.
And it's been a very in-depth search, so hopefully this is the end of it.
Because I was saying, I like that Intel took so long to pick Lip-Bu, but also this is longer. Nike's taking, or Lulu's taking longer to pick a new CEO than Intel did to find Lip-Bu, and Lip-Bu was perfect. So, if your search is taking longer than that, is it going to be a good search? I do have to mention here, Heidi O'Neill, this is just being reported by Wall Street Journal as far as I can tell. It's not confirmed yet, but we do have TXN earnings, if I can just speed run through those. TXN, Texas Instruments, rocketing to the upside here. Revenue, $4.83 billion, above estimates of $4.53 billion. EPS going to be $1.68 per share, above estimates of $1.38 per share. Operating profit going to be a beat. Free cash flow better than expected. CapEx just below estimates, which actually could probably be a really good look here. And then they're guiding Q2 EPS 177 to 205, not seeing how that compares to estimates. Revenue guide 5 bill to 5.4 bill, not seeing how that compares to estimates either, though it would mark a sequential increase. We're still waiting, though, on TSLA. So Elon Musk, anytime you're ready to drive onto the scene with this report, we did get a spike. Yeah, markets liking this TXN report so far. Anyway, we're just took out 250. With very little argument from sellers. Anyways, at this point, just keeping my eye out for anything else coming across. I'm seeing some numbers, but I'm going to wait to confirm them. Okay, from Tesla? Yes, but I'm going to wait to confirm them. I mean, let's bring up Tesla. Tesla is higher. It's already moving. So I know TSA, it looks good, but we're moving here. Yeah. We'll keep an eye out here, guys. Thoughts on TXN first off? Well, I mean, jam.
I have to mention, there's enough volume on Tesla. If someone fat-fingered, good luck to you, sir, or whomever it might be. And if you're early on that, Godspeed. No, but seriously, like TXN, this is blue skies here. This is a good bellwether, I think, because I think the concern would have been, and we've seen this in this earnings season. We saw it with ASML. Well, we saw it big time with ASML, where they sold it off regardless. So the fact that you're getting the actual action that you want in the right direction, I want to see a beat rewarded with a big move to the upside. 100%. Tesla it's got to be out. It's got to be out.
I'm seeing some numbers here. So adjusted earnings of 41 cents per share versus estimates of 34 cents. I was seeing 37. Either way, it looks like a beat. Gross margin, 21.1%, better than 17.7% expected. And their Q1 EPS here, so adjusted EPS was a beat. Non-adjusted EPS just barely a beat, pretty much in line with estimates here. Again, revenue, we're going to get 22.39 bill versus 22.19 bill expected. So it's a revenue beat, adjusted EPS beat, gross margin beat, non-adjusted EPS in line with estimates. If I get anything more on guidance or random comments made by Elon, I'll let you know. But free cash flow actually coming in at positive 1.44 billion versus negative 1.86 billion expected. So that's nice for Tesla.
That is
and I'm quite impressed, actually, by Tesla.
Yeah, huge beat, guys. They're also saying Cybercab, Tesla Semi, Megapack 3 are all on schedule for volume production starting in 2026.
Which is funny because they said that last quarter, too.
I mean, market's still liking it regardless, guys.
Yeah, I mean, we have a couple of quarters left in 2026, so I'm looking forward to seeing this actually come into full production. This is what we need. This is what we were looking for. We know Elon was going to say something along those lines, and this is what we wanted to hear from him. So let's start spitting these robo-taxis out, and we can get into more jurisdictions as well, too. So I'm looking forward to what we got going on here in Tesla. Surprised by all of these numbers, especially the free cash flow, a substantial number there. So a good look across the board and a massive gap up here in Tesla.
Well, not just the free cash flow, that's a big one, but the gross margin came back out of the teens to get to 21. Can you do something for me? Well, Elon's doing a lot for us. That being said, it would be nice if you could get to 420. I'm not saying, I'm just saying that's a big beat on the margin. And on the way down, there was a lot of trashing of Tesla when the margin slipped. We're in those teens, and ultimately this seems like it's kind of a put up or shut up kind of area. And we talked about the compression that the stock had been in for the downside for so long. It hadn't participated the same way in the market move. We had the huge dip in the war. We get back into all-time highs. I wasn't terribly excited going into this report for the reasons that it had been so badly beaten up, and we had this whole momentum of it doesn't matter what you do, we'll find something and we'll sell you off anyways. But I'd be a little bit surprised if we came in tomorrow and this one was down. If there's any shade to be thrown, the fact that Tesla was about 35 whatever % off the highs, right? You get this big beat. I love the numbers. I really do like that margin beat. I think the free cash flow, I think that's great. We're only up 3.5%.
Yeah.
It's coming back in quick.
And if it was expected move of 5.5, which a lot of people would have said 5.5 is light for an earnings move on a name like Tesla. So you're underneath a small expected earnings move.
And I believe
that's the cold water.
Adair reported last time also that on the previous earnings report that it stayed within that expected move. So here again, once again, you're not surpassing that 5.3%. You're staying within that. Brendo just mentioned that it's coming back in aggressively as well. So the chance of us surpassing it at this point slowly start to dwindle as time goes on.
You have more.
Yeah, I do have more, guys. And yes, I already made an infographic on this. It hasn't been posted yet, but I do want to show you guys actually how these results stack up. So around $16 billion in automotive revenue this quarter. This is actually down sequentially. I do want to point that out. Now, you have energy generation and storage, which is probably Tesla's best sector last quarter. Certainly not its best sector this quarter, because in terms of growth, it's actually down 12% year over year. But we've talked about the services/other sector. I have a feeling this could be robotaxi related, though I'd have to do a bit of a deeper dive, because this sector, outpace energy generation and storage in terms of its size, and B, is up a whopping 42% year over year, Brendan. So I have to figure out what the services and other means. Again, I would probably suspect this has to do something with robotaxis, but either way, that's up 42% year over year. Automotive revenue, while down sequentially, is up year over year. Overall revenue up year over year. Chapeau, Elon Musk. I have to say, not a bad report.
Just seeing a note on Marvell.
Oh, I saw it too.
Yeah, not really moving around here, but acquiring Polariton Technologies, advancing optical performing scaling to 3.2 trillion and beyond. So again, Marvell not really moving, but There's no red numbers. That's the key here for Tesla. 0 red numbers as far as a miss on basically anything. I was just noting the Cybertruck, the Semi, going to be the end of the year as well for more production.
I was going to say IBM. It's going to be on Wall Street. So they have earnings, and they are moving kind of all over the place. Revenue up 9% year over year to $15.9 billion. I know off the top of my head that's certainly down sequentially, not up, but it is up 9% year over year. Software revenue 11% to the upside year over year. Consulting revenue up 4% year over year. Infrastructure revenue, which has been their best growing segment over the last couple of quarters, that's going to be up 15% year over year as well. They did improve their operating margin and gross profit margin, pre-tax income margin up year over year. This is going to be a double beat, though, in the top and bottom line. Again, so revenue down sequentially, but up year over year to $15.917 billion. Q1 adjusted EPS here, 191 to 181. And guys, it's worth noting, what I've noticed for IBM is there's a pattern in terms of each quarter. Like, you'll have really weak Q1 results, and then you'll have incredible Q4 results. So this being down sequentially should not be too much of a negative, but market might. Are
you saying they backload their year? How dare you?
I am.
Here's a comment on robotics from Tesla, which is kind of interesting. And this is exactly what Sharif was alluding to this morning. We were talking about this. So Optimus Factory will begin shortly, quote unquote shortly, in Q2. The first generation line designed for 1 million robots a year will replace the Model S and Model X lines. As we know, in Fremont, we are also preparing Gigafactory Texas for the second generation line, which is being designed for long-term annual production capacity of 10 million robots. Elon's not messing around.
No, he's not.
Well, how many households are there in North America?
Hey,
just saying.
A few more than 10 million.
Well, I know there are, but you know what? It's not just.
More.
But it's not just that. Like, you got to think about elder care. Like, it's before people are putting these in their houses, they're gonna be using them in elder care. They're gonna be using them industrially. It's just there's going to be more use cases. We're thinking about the future. By the way, for the technicals, it's gonna be fun where it's already bouncing.
Yeah.
You're gonna like this because there's a buyer holding a Tesla at $400, everybody, and I think that's a good sign. So look. If we're going to say that Tesla is a company that is about the future, then what you've heard today is a confirmation that it is incoming. Can we always trust these timelines? I say I'm not trying to be negative Nancy. I own Tesla shares myself. I'm a big believer in Tesla, but I'm not trying to be negative Nancy. It's just objectively true that a lot of these timelines don't end up getting met. That being said, I think we can see a light at the end of the tunnel. You then throw in the fact that the market was able to get back to highs without Tesla doing much of anything. I think there's a lot of upside.
I think there's something to be said because like in Q2, that's relatively soon. So you must be prepared and ready to produce these things en masse, essentially. Yeah, Adair doesn't agree, but I don't know. We know that he's optimistic, essentially, but why would you state something essentially you're in right now?
Because he does it all the time.
It is pretty normal, Joe.
It's normal, Joe. Large-scale production in Q2. Like that's we're sitting in it right now.
Joe. He's done it before.
He's done it before, absolutely. But then also stating that Texas factory, 10 million robots in a year. I mean, you have to be somewhere close to the point where you're going to be producing these things at the scale that you're mentioning now.
Joe, I'm on Adair's side with this one. And look, I believe in Tesla. I believe in Elon Musk. But it is absolutely true that we have seen some aggressive timelines, some aggressive objectives. What that tells me is, okay, you know what? If I'm looking to a 3 to 5 year horizon and you're saying that in the short term, I can feel pretty good about getting it in the 3 to 5 year time horizon. And if I'm okay with owning the stock because of that, then I'm good to go. But can we also put some respect on Lam for a second?
Yeah, just real quick.
Okay.
ServiceNow is out, guys. It's getting absolutely crushed, down 10%.
And honestly, not a bad report here. Adjusted EPS narrowly beating estimates, 97 cents versus 96 expected. Sales, 3.77 billion versus 3.74 billion. So 2 narrow beats here. But growth actually pretty solid. Subscription revenue up 22% year over year. Total revenue up 22% year over year. Current remaining RPO here up 22.5% year over year. Overall RPO up 25% year over year. There now assists customer spending over $1 million. That's up 130% year over year. They also announced a Google Cloud deal. So ServiceNow, a lot of announcements. None of these are bad on their face, but market is setting it on its face.
I'll let you grab LRCX just coming across here right now as well. It tagged 280 to the upside, so a nice positive move overall for Lam Research. From what I saw, basically a beat right across the board.
I am also seeing a beat right across the board, Brendan. I'm just going to move the numbers so you guys can see them. So they did beat EPS here, adjusted EPS $1.47 versus $1.37 expected. Sales $5.841 billion versus $5.779 billion expected. That will be a double beat for Lam Research. Q4 adjusted EPS 150 to 180, above estimates of 145. Sales guidance 6.2 billion to 7 billion, above estimates of 6.1 billion dollars. Now their Q4 GAAP EPS, would you believe me if I said it's a beat? It is a beat. We already talked about it pretty much because it's the same as the Q4 adjusted EPS guidance. But either way here, they beat on earnings, they beat on revenue, and their guidance for Q4 adjusted and GAAP EPS as well as sales above estimates.
One of those, take a breath. One of those markets where the good ones go up 4% and the bad ones go down 15%. Now is getting absolutely wrecked.
Speaking of IBM, all right, software growth broad-based up 11%, and then also Red Hat accelerating at a 13% year-over-year growth, and then you also have the boost within the dividend. And sure enough, sliding to the downside to add to Brando's point there.
Well,
this
to
thing
make it
is
even
still
worse.
tanking. Yeah, it's not looking good, but you're seeing double-digit growth here.
So to make it even worse, ServiceNow to the downside, IBM to the downside, catching strays is Palantir. It's like, it's just, if you happen to be in the IGV and another software name gets hit, you're just going down anyways. They're just selling it. It doesn't have to be logical.
No.
If you're in the ETF, you're going down with the ship just like everybody else. So if you're wondering why Palantir dropped just $2, look no further than those last two reports, unfortunately. But can we at least put some respect on Lam? Everybody gets all this concern about all this spend, right? Oh, it's a circle jerk. It's a house of cards. Well, you know what? If you're building the machines that make the chips, then your orders are a little bit safer than everyone else down the line. You're not worried about whether everyone's making money off of this. You're like, just keep making all those chips. Keep having all that backlog. You're going to need to continue to buy from us, and we're going to continue to go higher. It's a blue sky setup for Lam. There were some concern with ASML. There was a headline this afternoon that hit them a little bit. That got bought right back up. So, but to your point there, Brendan, like Lam is up 7%, and you couldn't. It was a perfect report on a great company, and it's up 7 points. Tesla's going to be up 4 points. I mean, you get an absolute shellacking for ServiceNow. You get a beat down by IBM. You get Palantir literally catching almost a 2% stray to the downside. So we're still in this environment where we're not really getting the ridiculously explosive buys, which, look, the market's adjacent to the highs. We just had a huge recovery coming off of the dip in the Iran war. So maybe there's a little bit of a
I'm surprised.
Take the edge off.
I'll take 4% for Tesla. Like after the past delivery numbers we had, after the past couple of quarters, I'll take 4%. You have more on ServiceNow?
I do, and I think this explains the move down in Palantir, honestly, because this is just not a good sector outlook. They're saying that due to the conflict in the Middle East, their outlook is going to reflect their assessment of geopolitical headwinds on deal timing for the remainder of fiscal 2026. So not even just next quarter or the current quarter, the entire year. Now, I did not see anything specifically about what this is actually going to entail when it comes to like what their guidance is. They didn't really provide an update on said guidance, but they're saying the guidance is going to be impacted by the headwinds, so kind of an odd headline. Furthermore, said they're actually going to see a bit of a hit to their margins as they integrate their newly approved and finalized acquisition of Armis. This was announced, I believe, in December of 25. It was approved, I think, early this week or late last week. But either way here, that's the deal with NOW and probably why names like Palantir are getting clipped. I heard Oracle, poor Oracle, getting clipped. Then this is ridiculous. It is ridiculous, but this is what the headline is.
No, what I'm saying, sorry. Looking at what happened to ServiceNow and IBM, Microsoft dropped 2 points.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
CRM dropped.
CrowdStrike dropped.
Palo Alto dropped.
There's zero confidence, right?
It doesn't even make a difference. Like it is so bad for these software names. This is pretty indicative. You thought that maybe the bottom was in. Like Microsoft with a rally of 20-something% off of the lows. We're sort of calling bottoms here on Oracle. You get one bad print or reaction with ServiceNow, and all of a sudden, it's like, okay, we're just gonna dump it, we're just gonna take the profits. It's crazy. It feels like there's still this panic mode that's in. Unfortunately, it kind of sucks, but I think we have to operate under the veil of there's no comfort level when it comes to the IGV. unfortunately. But you know what? At least I'm going to go back to Tesla because I'm seeing exactly, it just went right back into $400. And Tesla's leading the way. There's a buyer at 400.
There's
What's up?
Elon, or it wasn't Elon, but someone just posting that Tesla has invested another $2 billion into SpaceX ahead of the IPO. So that just came across as well.
Yeah,
and that kind of kicked off some of that selling anyways. I mean, we're back to 400.
No, I'm with you, Brendan. It probably pulled back off the highs because of that. I don't think that's what the market's going to want to see. It's like I might like that as a shareholder. I want some exposure there without having to buy the IPO myself. They don't own that much. It's a pretty small amount that they own. But then you think about what's going on with SpaceX and the bundling of all the losses of the XAI and circling that back in. That's not an IPO that I think many believe will be entirely successful after it opens. It'll be an exciting trade. The volume will be fantastic. It'll be all the hype around and all that good stuff. But I don't think you'll find too many people that are willing to tell you, well, if you buy that one on day one, you'll be looking good a month later. I think most people are probably on the opposite side. So yeah, I think Tesla, a little bit of a sell into that. But 400 held. So technically speaking, I think we got a level to work off of tomorrow morning.
Yep.
Kind of like an easy over-under with Tesla. If it doesn't hold the 400, we're back to thinking that the mid-80s are a buy. And if we do, then we can shoot for that 420 tomorrow.
I mean, we had that previous pivot around $411 there, Neil. We couldn't breach that. I mean, we're still up positive. We're holding this level right now around 402, but I just didn't think we got that strength. There's some positive things stepping in, obviously, here with Tesla. We got the mass production of Optimus coming in relatively soon as well in this quarter, apparently. And then we have the second generation Gigafactory. He also wants to keep up with the spend and create the largest fabrication there is possibly for semiconductors coming up here. So a lot going on for Tesla here to be optimistic about.
There's one more number just real quick. FSD, guys, seeing FSD subscriptions year over year, 51% to the upside. 850,000 Q1 last year, 1.28 million Q1 this year.
And yet we're still only up 4%.
Yeah.
Everything about this has been positive so far. There was actually it was Austin in the chat, if we're going back to the software thing, made a really good point that I wanted to read out. Shout out to you, Austin, saying that software is used by all the big corporations. Your company, saying their company uses it, and it helps, not hurts. I think that's what the market's throwing out every software name whenever they get a chance without acknowledging that there'll be some losers, but there's probably going to be some pretty big winners. And I think that's why you get that visceral reaction to Palantir being down because of this now move and Microsoft, and you throw out Oracle, and then you throw PanW and CrowdStrike as well. Like, come on, no, there's going to be some winners in the space. But if we're just going back into Tesla, I think the problem that a lot of people have with Tesla is they can't make up their mind what they see the stock as. And you've just essentially had the whole gauntlet of it's not just that we're moving on and saying this is about robotics is going to be next and Optimus is going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, the next thing that Elon's bragging about is Optimus now.
Yeah,
well, it's pretty clear. He's bragging about that and he's talking about SpaceX. So if you're an owner of Tesla because of a really cool car that some people like, good luck with that.
You think that Optimus is going to outweigh, from an earnings standpoint, the robotaxi or Cybercab? There's no way.
No, those two things.
Okay.
Those two.
That's what we remain optimistic for within this thing. This is why we're continuously forward-looking, is because these two things in the pipeline are what we are looking for to be that forward driver. I want to add also, Brandon brought up the FSD aspect of things. We talk about autonomous vehicle miles. We forget about the FSD here with Tesla, which is obviously outweighing in Waymo. Waymo has more autonomous vehicle in more cities and jurisdictions, but FSD playing a big part here as well.
Yeah, no questions asked. No questions.
All right. There was a note you had real quick on software.
It was specifically in Micron, actually.
Okay.
I have to thank Darwin in the chat for mentioning this. So that's how I saw the headline. I looked into it. But we already heard that this was probably going to happen. I actually put it on our watch list this morning that Micron was apparently pushing the U.S. Congress to crack down on chip tool sales to Chinese rivals through this Match Act. Well, now, as of a couple minutes ago, seeing reports that the U.S. House panel has advanced the Match Act, which is a bill designed to close gaps and curbs on chip-making equipment exports to China. So that's the deal there. No massive move, but I think worth noting for some of these chip and chip maker names, and even maybe like FXI, KWEB, if you're looking for an antipathy play here.
Speaking of China, Tesla just saying they're making headway on FSD in China, or getting approval for FSD in China as well. I was saying so. 5:30. You got to wait for the earnings call. Sorry.
Yeah, that's how it is.
We're not going to be here. I mean, thoughts. Just final thoughts here, guys. For this, I think the overall could have been worse.
Yeah.
I'm slightly disappointed in the move, because I felt like Tesla had been beaten up enough that you'd have more of a coil up. So I think there's a little bit of trepidation buying this thing. If it doesn't hold the 200 period, which it's barely at right now, that's at 400 level. Regardless of what I say, I'll probably come in bearish if it's under 400 bucks. I don't see any other way around it. You're less than the expected move. You just had a good report. We've seen a lot of other reports get sold off on that. But I think the other story to end off with is the real question becomes what to do with the software names tomorrow morning, because my gut instinct is there's way too many strays that got caught. You can't tell me that every single related software name deserved to get hit today in sympathy. I almost feel like when I sit down tomorrow morning, the first thing I'll be looking for is which software company got hit too much that I want to dip buy for the trade tomorrow. And then you'll maybe look for a relief rally. I know Tesla's a big deal, but I feel like that could be a better opportunity out there. I don't know if it's going to be CrowdStrike or PanW. I have to go over some charts. I guarantee you somebody caught too much of a stray over ServiceNow, and there's going to be an opportunity tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you there, Neil. I mean, we're talking about IBM as well, too. So they had double-digit growth in red cap as well. So this might be overdone. You're heading towards some key support levels. As for the expected move here, essentially, in Tesla, I didn't think we were going to exceed that. Are we going to hold it and maintain it? I think that's going to be the big question here. I mean, the numbers were great. Margins great. We're moving forward. This is what you want to see when you remain with that forward outlook here in Tesla. But my question is, can this be held up? And we don't know until tomorrow brings. So IBM and Tesla are going to be my primaries here tomorrow. Good numbers.
Intel tomorrow at 4 p.m. We'll bring that one to you live. And then, I mean, next week is just ridiculous. Final thoughts.
My final thoughts are, it's always fun to be here with you guys and rapid fire delivering earnings.
Likewise.
We will get more infographics tomorrow. I'm probably going to post my Tesla infographic tonight, honestly, before the earnings call. So stay with us on X at TTV Research. There's literally no end to the research that we can and will put on for you guys.
Overall, a positive showing for most outside of ServiceNow. Just keeping an eye on ServiceNow right now. It's coming back into session lows. Hope you enjoyed that. We will, again, be back tomorrow for Intel. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 a.m. Come join us, won't you? We'll see you then. Have a great night.
Ciao.